check. Here we go. We are at 7:26. 7:26, 9 minutes to the first horn. Clearing the lineup today for our surfers who are already out there. You can already see the red jersey for Corona Cero. There's that blue jersey. Then you use the third now. She's out there. We are stand by to start this thing. So everybody else, if you are not in a red or blue season, go ahead and make your way to the channel, jump on a jet ski, have a nice little paddle, warm up. Let's have an amazing day here at the Fiji Pro 2026 presented by Corona Cero. All right, everybody, 7:29, just over 5 minutes to start. Surfers, please clear the lineup. Jet skis right there. It's going to be a free ride. There are no sets on the horizon. Make your way to the center. These two women surfing two around two, but line up.
The 2026 World Surf League Championship Tour battled the elements and delivered career-defining performances in Tahiti. Erin Brooks' incredible comeback saw the 19-year-old phenom claim her first victory as a full-time CT member. And on the men's side, Hawaiian Seth Muniz finally broke through, capturing a long-awaited CT win.
Let's go.
Now the championship tour hops to another island paradise and the flawless Fijian left-hander, Cloudbreak. Here, raw power and freight train barrels define the arena that demands nothing short of legendary performances. The stage is set. Imagine what's next at the 2026 Fiji Pro presented by Corona Cero.
What a life!
Bula and good morning. It's a gorgeous Friday here for the Fiji Pro presented by Corona Cero. Look at this. Beautiful moon setting the stage. Yolanda Hopkins on the bow, one of the first to get out there in the Red Bull Athlete Zone as competitors prepare for what could be just a brilliant morning. Surf still out there, that southwest easing a little bit. Super clean conditions this morning as we're enjoying this sunrise. Luana Silva's taken on her best friend on tour, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, and Barron still getting barreled after eliminating Jack Robinson yesterday in a very intense paddle battle. Huge heat win for Barron as he has his sights set on the round of 16. All judges on the tower, all systems go. And we are prepared for more action today. Remember, yesterday afternoon, we got put on hold after the first heat of the second round. Carissa Moore celebrated her birthday right here at this beautiful, beautiful spot, Fiji Marriott Resort, Momi Bay, after a heat win over her longtime rival, Sally Fitzgibbon. So Riss still enjoying birthday celebrations, having a nice little breakfast buffet. Thanks for being with us. Joe Turpel, Jesse Starling. The stage is set now for continuing on with round two. We still haven't seen some of those top seeds like Gabriella Bryan and, of course, defending world champ Molly Picklum.
Yeah, this is where you do get this energy starting to roll through. These women have been putting in the time over the last week, just getting to know this reef, surfing it at different sizes. But like you mentioned, Molly's coming back a year later after winning a world title. We know she's going to be revved up, and I think she's going to be probably the woman to watch today.
Let's get some insight on the day out there as we send it to the crew in the channel. Vaughn Blakey on the Red Bull Athlete Zone floating boat with Isabella Nichols. Good morning.
Morning, Joe. Morning, Jesse. And morning, Bella. How are you going? You've just come in from the water. What is the official call and what are we looking at out there?
Yeah, it's super fun today. About 3 to 4 full-on sets. Women are on round 2, and I think women's quarterfinals are on standby. So it'll be a good day of surfing, 35-minute heats.
Nice one. And we've seen you out here during the free surfs and already had a heat, obviously, but like ripping in, having a great time on this Cloudbreak reef.
Oh, you can't not have a good time here. This is such a sick place. It's only my second time here. I came here like 2 months ago for a strikey, and I understand what the fuss is about. It's beautiful. And we have some sun today, which is amazing. We've had sun for the last 3 days, so it's delivering.
How good are strikies?
So good, strikies are there.
Have a great day. There you go, folks. Looks like we're in for some really fun conditions, and we are pumped to get women's action back in the water.
Thank you so much, Vaughn and Isabella Nichols. Isabella will be preparing for Nadia Aristarbe in Heat 6 this morning. Betty Lou first out since we already wrapped up Heat 1. Sawyer Lindblad, world number 3, takes on Vahine Fierro, an all goofy foot battle. That's a huge one. And then still just the talk around the global surfing world of what Erin Brooks did to Cloudbreak in that 10-point ride as she takes on last year's world number 1, runner-up in the world, Caroline Marks.
Yeah, honestly, every single one of these heats just looks incredible. They're both really evenly matched as well. Taking a look to the back half of the draw, Gabby Bryan takes on Yo-Yo. Gabby, she has that power, but Yo-Yo, we know she's not scared to throw herself over. We saw that in Tahiti. So she wants to be on those bigger looking waves, but love the first matchup, the battle of the two besties.
Luana Silva having a great season this year, her best of her career so far, having back-to-back finals early on in the season from Margaret River, runner-up to Lakey Peterson, and then runner-up to Stephanie Gilmore on the Gold Coast for one of the greatest events at Snapper Rocks that I've ever witnessed. Thousands of people on the beach. She got to compete with Steph at Bells and had a victory. And she got to share how much respect she has for Gilmore. And then they got to share one of the most incredible finals together. at stop number 3 of the season.
Yeah, what an incredible start of the year for Luana Silva. She wore the yellow jersey over in New Zealand, and Lulu, there's so much talk about when is she going to get her first win. She's come close so many times now, and that same storyline happened for Sawyer Lindblad as well, but we've seen Sawyer crack the code, get a win over in Brazil earlier this year. So this does get you giddy and exciting to think Lulu still has that success in front of her, even though she's already had such great results this season.
Oh, it really starts to sting, doesn't it? Yeah, and Lulu shares that with us, you know, making 2 finals this year, coming close. And last year she made 2 finals and came close. She was runner-up to Isabella Nichols at Bells Beach, also runner-up to Molly Picklum in Brazil last year. So now 4 runner-up finishes in CT finals. And it was pretty heartbreaking as well in the final of Margaret River. She was waiting with priority out the back, and she hadn't got the message yet of Lakey's score until the horn went off and the score came in like immediately. So she's like, oh no, it's gone. And I think that just keeps that healthy fire burning in your belly to go one step further.
Oh, definitely. She'd be so driven to taste victory on the championship tour. She's definitely the most improved surfer. Over the last 3 years, she has got better and better. Each year just a little bit more as well. This year I found her turns to have more impact, more aggression in her surfing, but also really smart decisions in heats. And you can tell that the pairing with Leandro Dora as her coach, there's a really beautiful bond there and a connection that he's really seen where she needs to improve and then pushed her to fix those slight little mistakes. And Lulu has now become a world-renowned competitor and someone who's gone from fighting to make the cut to number 5 in the world.
Luana Silva qualifying with Betty Lou, both rookies in 2022. Both fell off at the midseason cut and had to go right back to the Challenger Series, but they had each other, dealt with that tough loss, and came back stronger. For Betty Lou, it was a quick turnaround. She came back in 2023, a couple of years later for Luana Silva. And last year, both very successful. Betty Lou picking up 2 big wins at Burley Heads, getting a nice victory there, and also at Lower Trestles last season. And finally figuring out a way to beat Molly Picklum last year. That was a huge change for Betty Lou last year.
Yeah, pretty wild to think how far both of these women have come when you think back to their rookie year and they fell off and had to fight to be back here. And now they're women who battle for wins at multiple events across the year. But yeah, Betty Lou and Molly had this epic rivalry. I mean, one of the best heats we've seen in women's surfing was the heat that they both shared at Pipeline just a few years ago. Then you go to last year in Trestles, that final, Betty Lou found another gear. She was going so turbo and just came out on top in a really convincing way as well. So it's really an honor to be able to watch both of these women grow so quickly in such a short amount of time. And Betty Lou, she's actually having a bit of a rough year as far as consistency goes and trying to find some big results. Last year, she tasted victory twice really early on in the season. So she's trying to generate that. And she spoke to that in a post-heat interview with Vaughan when we saw the women compete for the first time. And she said, yeah, I am struggling this year and I'm just trying to find a little bit of consistency. And I loved her vulnerability in sharing that with us.
Betty Lou finished 5th in the world last year. Right now she's ranked 12th. Remember, top 14 will move on to the postseason. And that's what she wants to be a part of. She's peaked this year at a semifinal result over at Raglan. She ended up going down to Carissa Moore. That was a huge matchup for a lot of reasons. We know they've got a rivalry, but also for the statements made from Betty Lou of saying, we're ready to take down the old school. And well, it kind of went the other way a couple times. Betty Lou losing to Steph Gilmore, also on the Gold Coast. But there's this refreshing, fun, competitive energy coming from our competitors this year, not being afraid to say that they want to win. Love that. Don't want to really bring this up right now. Well, maybe we should. Maybe this, we could kind of cure the jinx of the first heat of the morning. I mean, it's supposed to go flat, right? That's the tradition.
It's supposed to. It is tradition.
But maybe if we just talk about it openly instead of hiding from it, maybe that'll stir things up and we'll get an opening exchange quickly.
And maybe the first dry spell of waves in the morning is actually what gives us a really good run throughout the day. We could think of it in a different way, but it is right on cue, a lull at the start of the day.
Well, let's say bula to our good friend Strider Wazalewski. Waz, how was your boat ride this morning? You feeling good?
Yeah, Bula Vanaka. We're feeling good. The beautiful day out here. I mean, the sunrise and into the, perfect lineup with the groomed offshore conditions. Just everything about it feels great. Obviously, we've got that first heat lull that happens every day for us, but, it does set us up for an epic day. So some great conversation out here in the morning with Tyler Wright, talking to her about surfboards and what it was like to get that wave after getting beat down after wave after wave after wave for 25 minutes, and then bang, she's like on the wave of her life, just getting smoked into the barrel. Everything was happening for her. So it's pretty fun to talk about it, to get out here and get in the lineup and feel the vibe. And it looks like we got a wave. Let's go.
That's right, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson trying to time the lip here. Beautiful arc off the top. Sakura jams one quickly. Spray still flying. And now getting on an absolute roll with her backside snaps. Nice, tight, compact surfing in the pocket for Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, representing Haleiwa. Love that long line. She had some good patience channeling that speed. It's cool when you're on a wave where you don't have to like hunt for speed and generate it yourself. You could just harness it and just wait for the right moment to release it in the pocket. We'll watch this one again.
Yeah, really interesting wave selection here from Betty Lou. This one just had a really nice tempo to it. Bit of downtime through the start of this wave, but watch it just so perfectly open up for Betty Lou. This is what we saw Wilco talking about yesterday when we had him on the phone. It's either a big barrel off the ledge, a barrel through the inside, or these waves that have this perfect momentum where you can just start belting it time and time again. Betty Lou identifying that type of wave really well and then just unleashing some solid looking backside hacks. Lulu, she got a start as well. This one just running off really quick. So you can see the women were positioned quite far up the reef with just how long that wave was for Betty Lou. But she's in attack mode and I'm here for it.
Thanks once again to the Water Patrol on hand for this great event. They've got those buoys set up with that they drive around so there's no wake into the lineup. Betty Lou just gets a nice jump off back into a world-class wave. As you can tell, it's just dropped a little bit in size. Still should be overhead and clean this morning. And just so rippable. Betty Lou laying it down. Just a 0.5 for Lulu up and out, but she's able to hang on to priority. And winner of this heat will move on to the quarterfinals to surf with Carissa Moore. Scores in for Betty Lou. What a great start. 6.67.
Yeah, Betty Lou just finding one of those inside tracks, belting it multiple times. And you know what? This is something she's actually struggled with for majority of the year, of finding a score straight away. First wave in, it has to take so much pressure off the shoulders just to know, great, I've already got a 6.67 in my lineup. Now I just need to do that again. The nerves are slightly out of the way, so Betty Lou can push a bit harder. She's got a good base. And now on that next wave, this is going to allow Betty Lou just to surf even more free and loose than what we saw in this first one. Again, I just want to really highlight this wave selection. It was really fast through this bit, but by her identifying that, going really high, using this speed to generate what is a great looking inside track, fades down to the bottom of the wave and just starts going into attack mode. So much water coming off the back too, so that's showing that she's really timing her turns well. Tempo fit this wave beautifully, 4 turns, and that's Betty Lou probably sitting in first wave category. I'm a bit nervous. I want to make sure I'm executing this ride, and she got a 6.67. So compliments to Betty, because you and I both know she can definitely hit it harder. So I'm excited to see when she does that and where the score will go from there.
Betty Lou Sakura Johnson applying the pressure early and just trying to get a bit more of a roll going deeper in these events. Having a couple of tough losses at the last 2 events of the season, but staying positive and confident in what she's bringing to the championship tour. The tour was expanded this year, so more members of the Women's Championship Tour, which was just about time. Feels great to see just more opportunity at the top level. And it created just a new format, too, with the non-elimination round gone. That's why we're seeing just huge matchups early and a lot of repeat matchups to create true rivalries this year in 2026. Lulu being patient now with priority, but waves on the way. She's aware of Betty Lou's start, so she's going to try to answer really strong here.
Gosh, it'd just be so wild. I mean, these are the heats that they've dreamed of. They would have talked about being on the championship tour together and competing against each other, but it it must be crazy to be out in the lineup, first heat in the morning, you're in Cloudbreak with your childhood friend who you went through every single phase of competition with. But in having that history together, they know the ins and outs of their competitive strategy so much. And Betty Lou would probably know that Lulu actually prefers to have the first wave, or Betty Lou actually prefers to have the inside right at the start. So these ladies can play and use that to their advantage, but it would feel weird doing that with your best friend.
Yeah, certain things would probably be easier because they know they could get away with maybe a little bit more. Lulu wants this wave, so she will get started. Nice glassy open face, total control off the bottom as she drills the first section, but it puts her behind it, and she's down. Tough one for Lulu. She met the lip well, but it pushed her deep and just got off balance. And just a calm look from her coach, Leandro Dora. He's gonna just try to tell her to calm down, reset. You can see her looking at him right there on her paddle back out. She does rely on that quite a bit at a lot of venues where she can kind of connect with vision to Leandro to put her right where she needs to be emotionally. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, a lot of hard work done on this first section. She delayed the turn to get to that section in a more critical part, but unfortunately with that, it pushed her down, and it looked like it actually pushed her back knee slightly off center. So as she's fallen out of that, you can see her back knee completely dropping to the board, which forced her over that toe side rail. But great wave selection, first of all. You can tell she's really done the time. That one had a really nice line down through that inside track, so opportunity missed for Lulu, but she definitely knows what kind of wave she's looking for.
Caddies have to stay put by a buoy that's right there. They could have the backup boards prepared because that's been a busy job the last couple of days of competition with broken leashes, broken boards. Really important at this event here at Cloudbreak, even with us easing size in the swell today. Surfline, our official forecaster of this event. Big thanks to lead forecaster Kevin Wallace, telling us that this day, Friday morning, we'd see some easing but still overhead surf today, and real clean conditions early to mid-morning.
Yeah, this is the slight ease in the swell that we're expecting before a really big ramp up mid next week, but we definitely have no shortage of swell while we're here, and that is so lucky, and everything is coming at a really nice direction in that southwest, and it also has a good amount of size to it. The period for pretty much the whole time we're here sits anywhere between 14 to 18 seconds, which is right in that sweet spot. This morning, we're looking at 5 to 7 foot faces. It does ease throughout the afternoon, but the thing that we're really keeping an eye on is the wind. It goes cross to onshore from about mid-morning, and we'll see it actually ramp up a lot more than what we're looking at this morning. If we look over the next couple of days though, here's the swell that I'm talking about that's going to start filling in from mid next week. Your eyes do tend down to Tuesday. 10 to 15 foot faces cross offshore all day, and we're expecting that to actually hang around Wednesday and potentially Thursday as well. So definitely some size on the way, but what we have this morning is clean, fun cloud break, so we've got to call it on.
Wow, what a forecast. Seeing a little bit of everything. And I think some of the rookies that came here for the first time in the warm-ups, they were actually going, wow, it's kind of section-y, you know, in their warm-ups at Cloudbreak. You know, the brochure, they're seeing these bright blue walls just run across the reef like a reef point break. And you can see that happen as the intervals do increase and go up. You know, more than 14-second intervals, you're starting to go, oh, here we go. With a southwest, that's Cloudbreak all day. But once you get to like 16, 17, 18, that's when things get real. And you get those shots that you see on the banners and all the posters that are at Tabarua Island and here at the Momi. Hopefully we get a bit of that.
Yeah.
Into next week, Tuesday, Wednesday for the world's best.
It's so wild as well to know how big Cloudbreak is as a playing field. You can be up and really far out on the reef on the ledge getting barrels, or you can be in this midsection where you can combo them both up, or all the way down the bottom, you can still score excellent scores down there. So even if you're lagging and you need a score and you don't have priority, because of how big this reef is, you can generate scores or a heat win for yourself no matter where you are. And that all does change depending on swell and swell direction. So it leaves surf fans wanting more.
Strider Wasilewski, let's get a little tide report and how that's going to affect our performances today.
Yeah, the tide, you know, coming up high this morning. That, interestingly enough, all that water's rushing into the lagoon, and then it actually sucks around the reef and pushes the surfers out further up to the top of the reef. So it's like almost a reverse effect on the current. And then the waves actually traveling down the reef, down on the inside here of the better part of the wave. I mean, look at this wave coming in. Wow, Betty on a bomb off the bottom, smashes the top. Look at this open face. She's gonna grab the rail, get back out in front of it and go back to work. Get that lip line smashed to pieces. There it is, the big hack. Can she finish? Wow, that was radical. Right onto the reef right there. Beautiful surfing. These waves are just ruler edge right now. Look at these waves peeling down the reef. Joe, it is pumping out here.
It's firing. A magical wave there for Betty Lou. And we can see the Water Patrol talking to Betty Lou. And that's always a big talk in the safety meetings. It's all about communication with our drivers and our athletes. And then they'll set up the pickup. You know, based on tides, they choose their route, but they'll go all the way around the buoys and get Betty Lou out into more perfect waves. How was that thing? And a great tide report as well with Strider talking about positioning. And if you're just sitting there not paying attention, you could be maybe drawing out to a spot that you don't want to be sitting in. Betty Lou knows where she's at.
Oh, she has just got this dialed. And this is that confidence about already having a 667 in your scoreline. You can start to build and push a little bit harder. Bigger looking section here for Betty. Jams it perfectly. Now that end turn, that has gotten the better of so many of our competitors. It comes at you on a weird angle, but it's actually pushed Betty's board straight underneath her. So completing a really critical finishing turn. I love the fact that she set up for the barrel, but it didn't quite hold where she wanted it to, and then just adjusted, came into this inside section, gave us a really nice two-turn combo. This one in particular, look at how that wave actually pushes under her board, which slingshots her into the flat. So the wave's actually helping her get ahead of it. And when you see the surfers get to that section a half beat later than what Betty did, usually they go down. So timing that end section perfectly.
What a crazy finish. You know, at a little beach break, that's kind of a fun turn, and you know, you're not freaking out too much, but when it's shallow and it's hucking out into the flats and she could still hold her line, that was impressive. Betty Lou, 6'6", and just well paced. Wasn't trying to rush things, wasn't trying to jam turns too early, and she's put her good friend into a tough spot early in the first heat of the day. Big matchups to look forward to. Sawyer Lindblad and Vahine Fierro will be on their front side in this one. That's coming up next. Luke Egan right there, one of the best surfers of all time. A guy that's been a world title contender in the past and just an incredible coach. He was out there the other day absolutely shredding. He's loving life. Working closely with Caroline Marks. It was great to see how emotional Luke was after Caroline got her world title in the Final Five that year. And, you know, he puts that up there with all the great things he did in his career, and maybe even more so. When you give back and share your knowledge and they take it and run with it and accomplish that goal, that's been a great partnership for a long time.
Yeah, it would be so, it's such a team effort. A lot of talk does come around surfing being an individualized sport. Yeah, when you're out there, it is just you, but it is a village. It is a community that takes a surfer and makes them a professional athlete. And what a combo to have Luke and Caroline, and they've really just built this recipe for success. I mean, Caroline was second in the world last year, and she came close to taking Molly's world title from her as well. I mean, won that first matchup out of the three, and then Molly just locked in. But Caroline, there was a really cool interview with Katie Simmons after they released the Red Bull Nowadays film in Australia. And Katie said, I think Caroline will probably win the most world titles out of all of us, just because of how consistent and how successful she is with her completion rate as well. She does not fall. So it's cool to see all these women also respecting each other and really identifying who has what strengths and who has what weaknesses.
And it's such a good one because she has Erin Brooks. And so for anyone to have a true battle with Erin Brooks, maybe it is Caroline signing up for that challenge. Brooks just changed everything here at Cloudbreak with a easy call of a perfect 10. And she had an 8-point ride. And it just changed everything. Our whole surfing world was just in awe of what she produced following a huge win in Tahiti. Here's Luana Silva trying to get started really in this heat. She had a fall before and up and out, and this one is going to just run down the reef without her getting the exit. So complete opposite from what Betty Lou's going through, as Sakura's got two keepers, a 6.67 built to a 6.77. And Lulu's just still got to keep her head in the game, just going, okay, I still have time, take the deep breaths. Things have not been working so far for Luana.
Yeah, this is where she wants to really luck into how big this lineup is and create some space from her and Betty Lou just in positioning to then try and capitalize on potentially some of these inside ones. We heard Strider talk about the end section actually having the most opportunity for the surfers. That's where Betty Lou has made most of her scores in this heat. Where Lulu, I love that approach of wanting to be in that barrel, but that wave, you could tell from the moment she stood up, was just racing down the reef, and it did close out through that inside track. So yeah, she just needs to keep her cool. She is in combo, but it's definitely doable still.
What a great start for Betty Lou, last year's world number 5 in the low seed in this matchup of best friends. She was brilliant on her backhand. 2 waves, 2 great scores, and she's still out in front.
Most people know Tavarua for its world-class waves, but the real story is happening beneath the water. More than 10 years ago, we partnered with the Ministry of Fisheries and the University of the South Pacific to help restore the endangered giant clam population. Today, Tavarua's reef is a marine reserve, and these clams are spawning naturally, helping to reseed reefs across western Fiji. This project is proof that every effort matters and that together we can create a healthier future for our oceans.
Sitting in paradise, the judges' tower, they've got the best view of this world-class wave called Cloudbreak. We're in the heart of the South Pacific, and it's fun for us to go from Tahiti right to Cloudbreak to just enjoy this Pacific leg of the tour, as we got a nice little rip into the pocket from Luana Silva, tracking back into the power source again. And our surfer representing Brazil is still attacking on that inside corner. Just a nice wave to just feel some completed turns for Lulu. We'll still have Betty Lou scores as way out in front as the best of the heat so far. But after a fall on your start, falling in the barrel, and even just an up and out, maybe the game plan for Lulu was just to settle down into some turns and get a couple of makes.
Yeah, as a competitor, you do just feed off momentum and how energy feels in a heat. And Lulu would have felt quite jagged throughout the start of this. With 13 minutes to go, she didn't really have a score on the board. So this is going to feel nice just to know that she's completed a wave. Smaller looking inside one. It did have a tapered wall, so unfortunately that did leave her to go into carve mode. We didn't see any of those really critical backside snaps that we know she can do. But just to have some momentum and be like, okay, there's a wave, I've got 8 minutes 40 and I can really start to build from here, would just be a nice reset moment for Lulu.
Luana Silva got to wear the yellow jersey this year for the first time after having those back-to-back finals in Australia, which just made the season even more fun to watch because there was all these themes that were arriving. And, you know, after the first event at Bell's, Gabby Bryan, Molly Picklum, it almost felt like, okay, things are still the same as what we experienced the year before. But then Leandro Dora had a very successful Margaret River because he had both finalists, Luana and Lakey Peterson that day. And I thought it was so cool for Lakey as well because, you know, with the big names of the world champs returning to the tour, Lakey was a little bit of an underdog in that category and then picked up another big win. So a lot of fun surprises to start off the year. And then even the challenging start for Carissa, wanting to accomplish more, then leading to her going back-to-back, following Steph Gilmore's big win. Sawyer picking up her first of her career back in Brazil. Just the tour is in such a good place. Starting from round one, you're looking at the matchups going, it's anyone could win on their day.
It's pretty incredible where women's surfing is, and obviously there's been so many generations of such talented women, but to have such a depth of variety of surfers on the women's side. We have barrel experts, we have like Bahine right on cue, we have aerial experts, we have Erin Brooks doing what Erin Brooks does. It's pretty cool just to see how versatile everyone's game is this season, and you can see every single one of these women really want to be a world champion, and Sawyer Lindblad is right there. She could do it.
Let's do a Fiji Airways board check with Strider.
Yeah, Joey. Well, we got Lulu's board over here. This is looking like an SG1. It's the same model that Toledo was riding. Sharp eye. How big's the board, Leandro?
Yeah, this board Lulu like for the good conditions. SG1 is the board that she uses in all conditions like barreling and point breaks. 510. And the board are good. We're waiting for a good wave for she surf for the first high score of the heat.
Yeah, Leandro's been yelling at her to stop paddling out the back and stay in the inside because there's some really great waves coming in this inside corner. Looks like Betty Lou on another bomb. Bad Betty, let's go. Take it away, Joe.
Thank you, Strider. Thank you, Leandro. We've got Betty Lou just trying to settle things down off the bottom. Big fan off the top. Well-timed backside turn, and she will push harder on the next one. Carving onto the third. Wide open canvas, and Betty Lou is going to town. Yep, this is your job. You're a pro surfer. You get paid to do that. Betty Lou just having a blast out here in the first heat of the morning. I think that curse is gone of things just going flat, all heat. It's pumping. Betty Lou's ripping. She hasn't made any mistakes.
We just need to talk about it more often.
Yeah, I think that's what we did. We cured it.
I think that was you and me. No, I'm kidding.
Let's go.
But Betty Lou, talk about building confidence as the heat goes on. I mentioned it at the start, having a good base opens up any competitor just to start pushing even harder as the heat goes on. That first turn had such a perfect rooster tail of spray, and then she just starts to lay it time and time again with power. Critical finishing turn as well, and guess what? Didn't need to go for that end section because the damage was done. Now Lulu out the back on a big looking wave, similar size to Betty Lou's, but just didn't have that same shape. So Betty Lou hasn't really put a foot wrong in this heat.
4:30 on the clock. Another free ride from the Red Bull ski for Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. Remember, she got stuck in round one in two events back-to-back, Tahiti and Rio. She was falling in the first round. This time she got past Bella Kenworthy We talked about round 1 in the morning show. If you're losing in that round, man, it's tough to win a world title. It's tough to requalify. You don't want to be keeping those results at the end of the season. For Betty Lou, she's happy that things end at the Pipe Masters. You know, for Lulu, that's an event that she's still trying to work on to get more familiar with, and just the comfort factor of one of the world's most treacherous waves, but she's putting in that time and making those improvements. So when that announcement was made, for someone like Betty Lou, she's like, okay, great, more points on the line. That's going to be fantastic to finish at home.
Yeah, that's going to add even just a bit more of a safety net for Betty Lou. Like I mentioned earlier, she hasn't really had the most consistent year. Great looking IC scoreline there, though, for Betty Lou.
7-8-3. Every time she stands up, she improves. So she's throwing away her opener of a 6.67, a backhand clinic in real high performance conditions here at Cloudbreak. You can see the southwest swell just eased a little bit, but is so perfect and groomed. It's just, she's having a field day out there. Remember, winner of this heat takes on Riss in quarters. That could be a giant matchup again for those two surfers representing Oahu. One more look at the best wave of the morning so far.
Yeah, this was just great surfing from Betty Lou, and it's actually put her competitor in combination. So, like I said, she hasn't put a foot wrong. Massive first turn. Look at her just staying so nice and tight in the pocket. This is what is going to give the judges just more energy to reward her with a bigger score. Lulu on the answer back here.
Now she could just open up. Lulu is just going to throw a little bit of frustration into the lip here. Nice fan of spray off that sharp eye, and she will blast it again. Love that she's just not falling apart this stage, just putting up some aggressive turns just to feel good in the water right now. See if she could break the combo. And things just were tough at the start. Betty Lou got a great opener, and then Lulu was on the next wave, had to kick out immediately. She held on to priority, went for a big first turn on a solid set, and just it put her behind the section, and she went down, and it's just been an uphill battle ever since. Lulu is able to break the combo, though, with that last score, a 5.33. She won't have priority, and she almost needs a 10, a 9.27 to be exact, to get into the quarters.
Well, we have seen a 10 this event already. It's doable. We know that. Lulu, like you just mentioned, I love the fact that even though she was back in combination, she kept her cool. She found her best wave, and she's gotten herself back out to give her another chance to try and give that 9.27 a crack. So Lulu, that's that matured headspace in her competitive surfing that has really become more well-rounded this season, and even flexing that when she was in a position where it's so easy just to give up and go, oh well, that's that. No, she's still fighting with 60 seconds to go.
That's right, we've had a 10. Rochelle Ballard chimed in, sent me a message yesterday just how thrilled she was to watch Erin do what she did, how technical that was, how fast she was going and threading it. She said it was just so well deserved, and she went on to say just how much she loves it, just seeing this next generation just take the torch and run with it. Rochelle was on tour. She was just famous for being one of the hardest charging surfers competing in the world title race, and her strength was barrel riding, especially over reefs like this. 22 seconds to go, and it's just been the Betty Lou show all morning, showing us how rippable this lineup has been. No mistakes. This is when your coach just gives you a big hug and said, well, perfect. No notes, do it again.
No, it's perfect heat. It is kind of deja vu, because she had a heat like that in Raglan, and Tommy Witt said, no notes, perfect heat. And the very next matchup, she came up against Carissa Moore. So we are reliving this. So she's got a chance to try and take it to the 5-time world champion and a mentor for Betty Lou.
Oh, and they've had some battles. Boy, if they had some battles. Betty Lou and Carissa Moore get to do it again, this time at Cloudbreak in the quarterfinals. Luana Silva will exit out, and she will prepare for lower trestles in Southern California. Coming up next, it's an all goofy foot battle. Sawyer Lindblad takes on Vahine Fierro. Bring it Kaipo and Flick for the call. The Fiji Pro, presented by Corona Cero, is brought to you by Tourism Fiji, strategic partner of the Fiji Pro, by Corona Cero, made with 100% natural ingredients, and by Fiji Marriott Resort Momi Bay, an official accommodation partner of the Fiji Pro.
And thank you for joining us for the Fiji Pro presented by Corona Cero. This is the beautiful Fiji Marriott Resort, Momi Bay. No, it's not AI, it's not filtered. This is real life paradise that we are living every single day here. Third day of competition, stop number 8 on the championship tour. Kaipo Guerrero here along with the fabulous Felicity Flick-Palmentier. Another beautiful day here in paradise.
Oh, it is. I'm looking forward to the next couple of heats. I've just been watching the surf this morning. It looks so rippable, looks really fun. Lots of good sections for turns, even the odd barrel. And we've got a couple of good goofy foot showdowns about to happen, Kaipo.
We sure do. We got a great heat on hand here. A couple of goofy foot. Sawyer Lindblad, Vahine Fierro. You can see the difference in the rankings. Sawyer having an incredible year on the championship tour. Vahine, on the other hand, needing to get busy in the back half of this season, coming in number 20th on the rankings. So this is a really important heat for the Tahitian.
Oh, totally. I think I just rewind back about 10 days. We were at the end of the road at Vahine's home, and she would have been coming into that event at her spot on the rankings thinking, this is where I'm going to get a good result. And things just did not go her way there. And that would have been a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, Vahine, second year on the championship tour, coming off a disappointing 17th in Tahiti. Of course, she was the 2024 champ over there at the end of the road, but some time to make up over here. She had a great first heat up against Alyssa Spencer, where she advanced out of that first round, so now she's going to have to regroup in this round 2 up against Sawyer Lindblad, who's been having an incredible year, and Sawyer experiencing her first CT win this season. She's made 4 finals, but this was her first win over in Rio at stop number 6.
Sawyer's really impressed me this year. I think not only as a surfer and her evolution in the sport, but also just competitively and how she's structuring heats. I've loved absolutely watching the evolution of that. I think her back, she's just so well-rounded, right? I think last year we really saw her push the limits, especially at chopes and waves where she probably pushed herself outside her comfort zone, but she's well-rounded. She's incredible on her backhand. I feel like her forehand has really improved as well, just technically. And this matchup right now is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of the year for both of these women.
Open priority right now with Vahine on the inside, so she's going to take the first wave of the heat. Fierro winds up off the bottom. Little check turn off the top. Maybe looking for a barrel here. And just nice little layback. A little sticky there on coming through. Another little late turn, just kind of warming up here. Vahine looks like she's going to complete this ride, but it looks like also she's just feeling things out.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I feel like that's just the first wave jitters out the way. There was definitely moments of brilliance on that wave, and you can see, I think she's definitely got a couple of more gears to kick up into. Just sort of feeling things out, feeling that board out, and just feet in the wax. Kind of a little bit of a settler, I think.
I agree. Strider, what do you think?
I think that I'm glad that hassling in the beginning of the heat is over, because the waves that came through that they missed because they were so far up the point were absolutely perfect. So now they're going to reset, they'll get into position, and Sawyer's actually probably going to have the upper hand here because she's going to be in a place where she needs to be for those perfect waves that come through. We saw some really great waves peeling down the reef with nobody on them. The coaches, Beetle and Kaole, visually upset about them not being anywhere near them, but I think that Sawyer's actually going to be in the spot now that she's paddling back down towards us. So hopefully reset and we see some amazing waves.
Thanks, Strider. Yeah, there is something to be said about priority being established, and then you don't kind of playing that open priority chess game at the beginning of the heat. So Sawyer Lindblad now with priority. Here's the first wave for Vahine.
Yeah, so this is one of those ones, like Strider said, they're obviously so far up the point. Vahine's picked off one that has a bit more of a taper to it, so she can just go to turns. What she does give us is, we can really see she's feeling out this board, feeling out the wave, but she gives us a lot of variety on this wave, so which is really cool to see. We obviously saw the layback, a couple of carves, a couple of little hacks in the pocket, and I think I go back to Strider's point. It happens in every heat out here, I feel like, as, when you get two people that are really aggressive, and especially when there's so much on the line here. There's a lot on the line for Vahine. Vahine is number 20 on the rankings. She needs to start making a charge now, right now, if she wants to keep this World Tour dream alive. So, of course, you're going to be positioning really deep for priority. And it happens in the men's, it happens in the women's. And even though there was potentially good waves that were coming through, just that's never going to happen. They're never going to be in position for it because they're so hungry to get the win.
And you can see the results for Vahine. This round has been a roadblock for her throughout the entire season. Has yet to make a quarterfinal this season. So this is good. This is an important heat and a turning point for Vahine if she's able to overcome Sawyer Lindblad and move into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I just feel for her. I really do. I think Vahine, she's such a good surfer, especially in these waves of consequence. We know what she's capable of in the tube. I think when she looks at this event, the Chopes just has to be in the background now. We're moving forward, and she's coming here to Fiji. I know she's put in some reconnaissance missions in the past. She's come here on her own accord, and she's put the time in the water. She's spoken to that, and she absolutely loves it here. She says that there's lots of similarities between Tahiti and here. It's just an island just down the road in the Pacific, and I think I love her style of surfing here. I think it really suits this wave. So hopefully this is where she can turn things around at this point in the year. Yeah, and also the situation, and we keep on kind of talking about the two-tiered system on the World Surf League. For someone like Vahine Fierro, she's really going to have to digest her result here. I mean, of course, if she wins here, then that's going to put her in a really good spot. But if anything less than a win, she's really going to have to consider looking at the Challenger Series, in which we're going to resume that after the Lowers event, and looking at some of the logistics and getting over to Brazil, and then from there, probably over to Portugal for Ericeira as well. So this is, it's a surfer's logistical kind of challenge. It's a travel agent's dream, I guess. Just you're always booking tickets everywhere, but yeah, it's something to consider on the league. Being a global league, it's a lot of crisscrossing. Vahine gets this one under priority, streaking down the line. There's a big opportunity for Vahine. Up, lip glide there. Looking for a little bit more open face. Just gets a little bit caught up as this wave just rolls through really quickly and stretched out down the line. Sawyer Lindblad right behind, second wave of the set. Lindblad, again, also streaking down the line and has to bail out. So, wow, both of those waves, it looks like the surfers were a bit too deep. Yeah, a little bit too deep there for sure. Those ones just running off really quick down the reef. Oh, well, let's hear from Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. She's into the quarterfinals, and she's with Vaughn Blakey.
Thank you, Kaipo. Yeah, Betty Lou, congratulations. A great way to start the morning. Of course, this heat was almost put out yesterday. The organisers making the decision to call it off, thank goodness, because the devil wind came in and blew the line up to smithereens. How hard is it to, be ready to do battle and then have to cool the jets and rebuild again for the next morning?
Yes, I mean, thank goodness they did call it off. It got really hard to surf in that double wind. But yeah, it's really hard to gear that energy all in all day and then get called off and then do the same thing the next 12 hours later. But yeah, we're just rolling with the groove. I've been foiling in the evening, been finding a lot of peace doing that. Kind of just living each day to the fullest and enjoying my time here.
That was a pretty funny foiling session yesterday afternoon, watching some of the world's best surfers dead set look like amateur hour, but you were going great out there. But look, we turned up this morning, epic scenes, beautiful lineup, plenty of swell, and you were up for this battle. It seemed like you were just sitting on a real simmering, intense energy, ready to go, and you really let rip as soon as you got the opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, I just was really hungry. Honestly, I've got to make heats if I want to stay on tour, and yeah, I just really want to keep surfing and get waves and complete my waves and, just be in that rhythm and just be the best surfer in 35 minutes. That's my biggest goal here.
That's great. And I've got to say it, we're missing your mum. Last year she was having the best time of anyone on the whole of Tabarua. I know she'd be watching. You want to give her a shout out?
Yes, of course. Hi, Mama. We do miss you here. We miss you diving for shells all day. But yeah, just having the support from the fam back at home means the world. They've just been texting me every morning, you got this. But yeah, they're the best. Love you guys.
great supporter, and you have so much support all around the world. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you in the quarterfinals.
Thank you, Bonnie. Let's go, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sakura up to 10th in the live rankings right now with that placement into the quarterfinals. So she's making some headway there. I do also have to comment on Vaughn Blakey's wardrobe has been exceptional this entire event. The canary yellow shirt with the embroidery. I mean, chef's kiss on that.
I feel like he's always got a pretty good wardrobe
This guy.
on rotation. Every event, really. He's got his own unique style and personality and
Fashion
brings
king,
it to every
Fashion
event.
king, love it. All right, well, 22 minutes right now, and no substantial scores as of yet. You can see that first that we thought was kind of just Vahine feeling things out is actually the benchmark so far in this heat, a 4.67 for Vahine Fierro and the lead.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to see these scores go a lot higher. I think probably positioning is a lot better than what we originally saw in the first stages of these heats. They're going to be in a good position for when this next set comes through, hopefully, and we're going to go see those scores go a lot higher.
Sawyer Lindblad does have priorities. Taking a look at this one, she looks like she's interested. She's going to activate. Here comes Lindblad. Sawblade has a dependable front side hack right like that, all the way back into the pocket for Sawyer. She's been leaning on that turn, a signature turn of hers. Nice little snap off the top. Powers up off the bottom, snaps off the top there, throws the fins back, combos it up for the finish. Well-surfed wave, and I like the energy. I just feel another gear right now coming from Sawyer Lindblad.
Yeah, there was a real assertion and aggression in her surfing, which I absolutely loved. I feel like as soon as she stood up, you could really see the intention was there. There was a level of urgency and intent that she was meeting that wave with, which was awesome to see. I feel like it was a smaller wave, but the surfing done on the wave was really good, in my opinion. I think she gets herself on a bigger wave, does that same sort of brand of surfing. I feel like we're going to see really great scores. Let's break this wave down. So just really eyeing off this first session, I just feel that you can see the aggression in her surfing. She's just absolutely stabbing it through on this wave. The board looks great underneath her feet and really placing her turns. I feel like she's not over surfing the wave, just waiting for that section to provide. And I feel like it's going to be a really good score for Sawyer and good sign of things to come for bigger waves.
Waiting for that score to tabulate on top of our score screen as Red Bull Jet Ski zooms Sawyer Lindblad back out into the lineup. And the thing with Sawyer too is also she's so mature and she's had so much success, but we got to remind ourselves she's just 21 years old.
I forget right? How young majority of these women on the tour. I forget how young they are. If you think about across the board, obviously we've got the older generation that have come back and they're holding down the fort, but most of these women on the tour are just in their early 20s, or if not teen still. And I forget.
For her, I mean, 3 years on the championship tour, her rookie season, she was graduating from San Clemente High School during her rookie season, which was, and she's been around. So it's a name that it feels like she's been around for a long time. She's made a big impact, but there's still a big future in front of Sawyer Lindblad, just being 21.
Oh, even think about Caroline Marks coming up in the next heat. She's been on tour for 10 years now?
Yeah, 8 years, and she's
8 years.
And 24 years old. So she's been, Caroline's been on tour since she was 16, right?
But it just goes to show like where the level of women's surfing is at, and it's pretty incredible, right, that we've got women just as young as 15, like Tia Zabrowski last year qualifying for the championship tour and surfing on the tour, and it just goes to show how good the level is at such a young age.
Yeah, and that really signals for a bright future in women's professional surfing right now. We definitely have layers and we have generations, and I love the mix of generations that we have this year on the championship tour. We got, some of the new teenagers like an Aaron Brooks, but then we also have, we have the veterans like a Carissa Moore and Lakey Peterson taking wins out, and Steph Gilmore, so it's a full generational story in 2026 when we look at the women's on the championship tour.
Which I think is so cool because everyone watching as an audience can draw inspiration from so many different parts of this tour, whether you're a mum and you're watching this and you've got your kids and you're thinking about getting back into surfing and you're watching Carissa Moore, take her daughter around the tour with you and you're thinking, okay, this is cool, like some inspo here for me to get back on the board, get back into surfing. Whether you're a young aspiring surfer and you're watching the likes of Erin Brooks absolutely charge at Chopes last week, and watching the score, that the 10 that she got a couple of days ago out here at Cloudbreak, and the inspiration as a young female watching that being like, I can do that and I can push myself over the ledge. So there's just so much inspiration on this tour for so many different generations and audiences, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, well, you know what? We got a call right now from a couple of inspirational surfers right now. Let's pick up the line in the Tavi bar where we have Lakey Peterson and Molly Picklum. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
We're doing really well.
Enjoying some breakfast.
Well, the question is, how are you folks doing? What's the scene?
We're pretty phenomenal. We're here on Tavarua. There's really no complaining happening whatsoever around this place, I would say.
Yeah. Like, you know, I kind of like walked past her, went to go to the breakfast, see the whole buffet, and she was getting all chirpy, so she was like, let's get on the broadcast.
Well, the chair with the broadcasting say, if you feel chirpy, put on the mic. And I said, I feel kind of chirpy.
Yo, Lakey was chirping up to me, and I was like, go put that on the broadcast. Don't talk to me.
Thank you. No, thank you for calling
I'm channeling the energy for you.
That's what the headsets are there for. We need to hear from you guys. What do we think about the conditions today? I'm going to go with Lakey.
It's so fun out there. Honestly, the warm-ups were super fun this morning. I feel like it's just so high performance today, and hopefully the wind stays good all day. And yeah, obviously there's been some great, a couple great waves already. But I had a blast this morning.
You were ripping. Lakey came in and said she was absolutely ripping, and I was like, yeah, go get it.
Just had to tell someone, you know. No, it is really fun though. I think the heats are all going to be pretty insane today.
Yeah, Molly.
Just such nice conditions.
Molly, what are you ripping in for breakfast right there? I can barely see the plate. What's on the menu?
I had 2 slices of sourdough, a bit of avocado. Then I just like topped it off with a bit of spinach, 2 fried eggs, and a little bit of mushroom.
Wow. Sounds fantastic.
How much better can you get?
That sounds like a winning combo to me. Wow.
Trying it.
Hey,
I'm trying to do the 1%.
They got everything you could possibly want here. It's pretty dangerous. Everyone's been talking about it. It's maybe the one surf trip you can go on and not like lose weight or be fit leaving.
What was everyone
there's
saying?
So much food.
You leave here like brown and round. and I can tell you right now, the heaviest thing is I haven't been tanning, so I'm going to be like round and white.
Oh, man. Okay, back to some work talk. Molly, you're coming up, Heat 7 up against Brisa Hennessy. Your thoughts on the matchup?
Yeah, obviously Brees is such a good friend of mine, so it's exciting. Obviously a bummer that we drew so early on in the contest, but I don't know, all the girls here, I feel like more pressure in this heat than maybe any other heat because the Tavarua and the Motu kind of like banter's on, like the girls are going to be out there screaming for me, so I don't want to let Tavarua Island down, but nah, I mean Brees obviously, she's been shredding and it's going to be a fun little battle. I just hope there's enough waves. It's like so much more fun when you can just like surf off rather it be a bit of a strategy game.
Yeah. Lakey, you come through your heat, Molly comes through her heat. You guys are meeting up in the quarterfinals. That's your.
Oh, we meet up next.
That's your.
She's smart. She already knows this.
You know that.
I don't know this.
I know. I hope that's what happens. I hope. I hope we're in the quarters for Team Tavarua over here. But I'm excited for my heat later on. I think I have Kika, so. Should be good. I haven't really had too many heats, honestly, against her before, so I'm excited to surf against her because that's a new one for me. So
she wants to smash the
rookies. Be good. Always. Got to keep them humble, you know?
Yeah. Hey, establish your territory, Lakey. I mean, you've done that this year. I'm telling you right now. There was so much talk about, like, you know, the new chapter in surfing, but it's been kind of like the veterans' year. I feel the establishment's year so far on the championship tour.
The beginning of the year was, for sure. I feel like it's been pretty cool, honestly. I mean, really, I'm definitely a veteran, but then seeing Kirsten come back and obviously Steph winning Snapper was like the most iconic thing ever. So it's definitely been pretty awesome, pretty inspiring to, just be doing well along with those girls this year. And then all the young girls are ripping so hard. So it's so cool. This year's like such a long year. There's so many events, it doesn't feel rushed, doesn't feel forced like the last few years. So I think you're just going to see like so many people kind of have their moment this year, which makes it pretty unique and speaks to the talent on tour. Everyone is so capable of winning and doing really well in events. So I just think it's really cool. I think it's fun to see sort of everyone getting their moment this year so far. Yeah. And hopefully the vets can keep it going.
Yeah, I agree. Molly, on land competitions, I know, like, you guys put the jerseys out on the water, but what kind of competitions or what kind of games are going down in Tavarua?
That's actually a Lakey question. Lakey's been going in the tennis court. She's been playing cards.
No, I mean...
Who have you been beating? I haven't really been... I didn't win the one card game I played, I didn't win.
Oh,
I've been playing it pretty low-key.
Yeah, you have. Molly's got her own little jet ski, and she's, like, doing her little deal. Ooh. She comes out, she hangs out, and then she's, like, on her ski. She's on a little bit different program. But
I just haven't been on the same program.
It has been fun. I mean, Tavarua has everything. I've been on the tennis court. I think the ping pong's been going off. Cards is always a hit. A lot of people playing cards. So... it's pretty fun. It sort of feels like summer camp, we've been saying. And then, like, right before the sun sets, everyone goes foiling out front. It's, like, ridiculous. This place is so much fun.
That's all time. Is there a little bit of jet ski envy, Lakey, in regard to Molly?
Yeah, that's full jet ski envy towards Molly. She nailed the call. She absolutely nailed it.
And the best part is the Breezer, who I'm versing, hooked me up. So that's one of the vibes on this tour. You're like friends, real close friends, helping each other out. And then in the water, it's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, how do you switch on? How do you do that?
I think it comes pretty natural. I think we're all kind of born competitors. You want to win, even if it's your best friend. I don't like, of course, if my friend's winning and it's not against me, I'm stoked for them. But against me, like, I don't know. I kind of have my own back.
I love it.
Molly, thoughts on the heat in the water at the moment, Sawyer v. Vahine?
Yeah, I know. I feel like Vahine, she's kind of started to find her flow. She had a couple good barrels and like moment in her heat. She kind of came in. I saw her at the buffet. She was standing behind me. She was like, oh, this is fun. You know, you can tell she was like feeling it. And then Sawyer obviously is just so strong and like on that forehand wrap and like snap, just like lowers combos going on for her. So I don't know. Right now, no one's really ran away with it, but I'm excited to see kind of what Vahine does with this next exchange. Obviously, she's got priority, so she's kind of going to pick the eyes out of it, letting that one go right there, you know, a bit faster. But I feel like the girls will kind of want to try and find a slower pace wave so that they can just lay into the wave. Here she goes now. This one looks a little quick.
In the barrel and out for Vahine Fierro.
Wow, there you go.
Nice. Tag it.
Bingo.
Make it.
She's stoked on that.
That could be, that is definitely going to increase her lead in this heat. Applause from the channel. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Lakey. Feel free to put on those headsets anytime you want to come and help us commentate. We love it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Always good chatting.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for keeping us entertained in the booth, too. Fucking your heats.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See you later in this round. Speaking of this round, women's round 2, let's look at at some of the upcoming battles that we're going to see out here at Cloudbreak. Coming up next, Caroline Marks, Erin Brooks. That's one you want to stick around for. And then, of course, we're going to see Molly and Lakey in heat 7 and 8 to finish off this round and establish our quarterfinals. Flick?
Yeah, there is some massive heats coming up. I look to heat 5. Gabby Bryan, world #1, taking on Yolanda, who is off the back of her best result this year so far at Chopes. She got a 3rd there, and I know that she's not backing herself up on the Challenger Series. She fully believes in herself on this championship tour, so that is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, I love it. We got a full round for you, and we got preparation happening on the Red Bull boat. Caroline Marks is going to be coming up against Erin Brooks. This is a highlighted heat when I look at this round 2.
Oh my goodness, this one on paper is absolutely incredible. We've got the little phenom, the super, well, teen at this point, who putting up the best number of the event so far, the 10. We've watched all the highlights. I mean, you can just watch that thing again and again and again on replay, really just raising the bar, setting the bar every time she steps into a wave of consequence. We saw it 10 days ago at Chopes, and we saw it 2 days ago here in Fiji. It really is. Erin essentially almost has one hand on the trophy, and everyone's trying to take it off her. It is actually crazy when you think about the level of surfing that she's bringing here to Cloudbreak.
Yeah. She's going to have a big challenge, however, with Caroline Marks, I feel, so I'm anticipating that. Also, I'm anticipating a great score for Vahine Fierro. Saw her in and out of the barrel, 7-point ride, and she's got the lead now over Sawyer Lindblad, who's holding priority.
Yeah.
Here's our ice ski scoreline.
Love that score. I think it's really well deserved. Great read and positioning to where she needed to be on that one. She positioned super deep. Let's have a look here. You can see how much deeper on the reef she's sitting than Sawyer, and really eyes off this section. You can see she drives through the barrel a couple of times, just demonstrating how deep she was, and she gets the finish too. Just really nice surfing, nice way to back up that 467 as we see Sawyer.
Sawyer on the answer back here, winding off the bottom, snaps off the top, and that dependable, just gouging cutback for Lindblad. Another snap off the top. She needs a 6.85 on an effort to turn the heat in her favor, and that pace has just been picked up by the San Clemente surfer. Great finish there. Well put together wave, well surfed wave, Flick.
Yeah, really good surfing once again. I feel like you can just, aggression and assertion comes to mind when I'm watching her surfing for sure. I think just that, you know, it's not a big wave comp, but the wave height itself might let her hinder the score a little bit. Just, she's looking for a 6.85. Beautiful surfing though. Those last couple of turns in succession, the big hack there, just throwing buckets.
Yeah, so as we wait for that score, we're going to take a Bonsoy brew break. I'm going to have a latte, and we're going to be back with the conclusion of this. Vahine Fierro currently in the lead and in the barrel.
Already know what our first-time visitors are about to discover. Fiji has a way of staying with you long after you leave.
We would like to acknowledge the Vanua of Nabila and Momi for endorsing this event and providing access to Cloudbreak and the surrounding areas. Vinaka. Back at the Fiji Pro, presented by Corona Cero, and Vahine Fierro out in the lead over Sawyer Lindblad as we look down from our Fiji flight cam in a beautiful illustration of this live coral reef that presents itself as this wondrous reef prass Cloudbreak. Sawyer Lindblad coming back. We promised you the score. There's a score right there on our IC scoreline, Flick. 5.6 for Lindblad.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much on the money. It was great surfing. Sawyer just needs to find herself on one of these bigger, better waves. Let's have a look here. So this wave just that bit smaller in size. I feel like that's sort of what's letting that score not go into that, super good range or higher range. I feel like the intent is so good. There's a real level of just urgency in her surfing and aggression. You can really see it. She's really pushing through her turns. I love seeing that. She just really needs to try and find herself on one of those better ways now. She's got a couple of mid-range scores. She's got the 4.83, she's got the 5.6. Hopefully, the ocean provides another opportunity with something a little bit bigger in size that kind of maintains that size the whole way. across the reef.
Yeah. Well, she's going to have to play a foxy game right now. She's going to have to be a little bit sneaky because Vahine Fierro, with the lead and priority, has heat control with just 3 minutes remaining. So getting out of that control is going to be the challenge for Sawyer Lindblad. You can see her need right there, 6-point ride. But the bigger challenge is just getting a wave underneath the priority of Vahine, who's sitting just right on top of her.
It's going to be tough because the swell has decreased, obviously, since yesterday. I think there might be a slight little pulse but throughout the day, but when you're generally on a decreasing swell, those sets become less and less frequent, and those long lulls are more and more frequent, right? So we've got to be thinking here. I mean, look, the ocean's looking pretty sleepy at the moment, but that's not to say there couldn't be a set. It is going to be incredibly difficult, though, for Sawyer to sort of find a wave right now underneath Vahine.
Yeah, and you can see the positioning as we fly over our two competitors and the guarding, actually, of the peak by Vahine Fierro. Sitting deeper with the priority, so she knows she's going to keep an eye on Sawyer Lindblad, and definitely running the 2-minute drill right now for a potential block if a good wave does come through. But it doesn't look like there's much action right now, so that's the tough part. You already acknowledged that, Flick, of just a swell that is kind of we're on the backside of this swell right now. With that being said, looks like there might be a line. What do you think?
So hard to say if it's going to really eventuate into this first little lump. Looks a bit too small. No one's moving at all, but potentially maybe there's a third line of swell. But even if there is, you've got to be thinking that Vahine is going to be keeping her. This is too small. I think this isn't doing anything. When you have a look at this angle here, you can really see that it's just on the small side for sure.
So Vahine, number 20th in the rankings coming in. This is a huge heat for her. If she can hang on right now in this last minute, 15 seconds, this is going to be a turning point in her season. This is going to be her first finals day appearance for the Tahitian surfers. So this is an important moment to hang on in this final minute.
Oh yeah, she needs this big time. She is really going to want to close this one out. With a minute on the clock, you think she's going to take any opportunity from Sawyer. When you think about the back half of the year, and this is also an event that when she looks at the championship tour as a whole and all the different events, this is one of the events that she would be like, yeah, rubbing my hands together. This is where I'm going to put down a good result, and this is where, I'm
Look at what's happening already with the next heat. The next heat, Erin and Caroline, you can see them paddling up the reef. The heat hasn't even started yet, but those two are already fighting for inside position.
The gamesmanship has already begun.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is, no, these are not 4 surfer heats. These are 2 head-to-head matches right now, but Caroline and Erin already battling for position and paddling way up the reef.
Well, I just think we can already see just visibly what this heat means for both of the surfers coming up next as well, and we're probably going to see them push each other too deep on that reef because they obviously both want the inside. They're both playing a bit of, staunch and a bit of, hey, more. Just there's like so many gamesmanship things that come into that, and as we see Vahine now, heat ends.
Vahine played the game well in this heat, so Fierro on to the quarterfinals with a win over Sawyer Lindblad. Kaoli Voss likes that. Applause from the support in the channel. So we'll see Vahine in the quarterfinals. Who's she going to meet? We're going to find out in the next heat. But there's the numbers. That 7.2 ride was key in victory for Vahine Fierro.
Yeah, this is going to feel good for Vahine. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens after this. We know there's a lot more swell on the way later on in the period.
In the barrel, on the way to the quarterfinals, Vahine Fierro coming up next. Caroline Marks versus Erin Brooks when we return. Fiji Pro presented by Corona Cero. Taking a look at the opening round. Erin Brooks drops in, pulls in, travels, time warp in the barrel. Where'd she go? I don't know. She comes out, perfect 10 score for Erin Brooks. Lit up the bar at Tabby. Another look here, flick into the barrel and a 10-point ride.
This was a thing of beauty. I just feel like she just kept on traveling. This wave just kept on giving. It just kept throwing section after section. And just when you thought she wasn't going to come out, she just kept bursting through that chandelier, just right on the foam ball, really setting the bar for what's possible out there. Both men and women, really, in my opinion, it was absolutely amazing to see. And really most influenced surfer so far of this event, and she's matched up right now against Caroline Marks, so how cool. We get to watch this go down.
Erin Brooks is going to keep it cool with a Yeti 110 for that 10-point ride, and she's up against Caroline Marks as we get back into action. Heat 4, round 2 here at Cloudbreak, and Erin Brooks is up and riding. Brooks off the bottom, snaps off the top, throwing a lot of spray there, streaking down the line with some speed on that Mayhem. Off the bottom again, hooks it one more time. And another time, attacking the lip. Erin Brooks in great rhythm here as she continues to exploit that wave at Cloudbreak right behind her. Caroline Marks, Marksy, zooms off the bottom, highline slash off the top. One more powerful hook for Caroline Marks. And Caroline unable to finish, but a nice exchange between our two surfers to kick this heat off. Heat 4, round 2.
Well, I love it. Straight into it. Already, I think, advantage Erin Brooks, of course. She's got the completion on that wave, really long, and so many turns reeled off down the line, but then nice fight back from Caroline Marks.
Here's our setup, number 8 on the rankings coming up against number 12 in the rankings. Number 12, Erin Brooks, coming off a victory in Tahiti, and this heat has been a highly contested right from the get-go, Flick. We saw before the heat even started, both surfers paddling up the reef and fighting for that inside position in that open priority stage. And let's take a look at that fight for that inside position. This is how the heat started off. Little battle for there. Caroline gets it, but then hands over the priority to Erin Brooks.
It's just a good demonstration. We were alluding to it before. They were already paddling each other so deep on the reef while Vahine and Sawyer's heat was still in the water. It's just a good demonstration of really what it means to both of these. And then Erin just uses the priority down the line here. And incredible surfing here. Such a good read on the wave. Really knows when to clear sections as opposed to really slow down her surfing. The connection she has with this wave is amazing to watch. You can really see the read is impeccable. Wave selection too, and picking up right where she left off from the other day. And then behind her, Caroline takes off. This wave kind of has a funny warp through it. You can sort of see it. They're just there and a little bit of foamy water. She does really well to get around that section and reel off a couple of turns down the line. Hits a bit of aerated water and can't just find the finish there. So advantage Erin.
Yeah, Erin Brooks looking really good on that opening score. I want to see the score. I see scoreline, a 7.83, so a very good score. Actually, 3 judges going into the excellent range with 8-point rides.
Not surprised. Not surprised one bit. I feel at the moment her surfing is the benchmark on the women's side for what is possible out here at Cloudbreak. Just the way she surfs the waves technically, turns-wise, and her choice of manoeuvres, but then also the way that she reads the barrel. She has come here before on free surf trips before she even got that win as a wild card on the Championship Tour in 2024, but she's put a lot of time in out here, and it's very, very evident to me.
She has the lead, she has heat control, she has priority. It's her choice of waves right now, so Erin Brooks is going to activate here. Wave 2 for Brooks. Again, winding off the bottom, strong bottom turn, and a vicious top turn. A little bit caught off guard there, so a little bit on the heels, and the wave runs away from Erin Brooks, so missed opportunity for Erin. Now Caroline's second wave of the set. Marks, a little deep on there, is going to kick out early and establish priority back at the peak. Let's hear from Strider Wazalewski.
Thank you, Kipes. Yeah, just that opening exchange and the way that, to be honest, Erin Brooks had just the sharper, just quicker, just the reflexes all seem to be going that much better for her on that. And Caroline's wave also kind of was working against her, like you guys had mentioned. There's an interesting pace of waves out here. We got some that are coming wide, and they're kind of just really fast, as we saw in that last set. And then there's another swell direction that seems to be in the water that has a more open face, more south, and those are the ones that are giving the pace of the wave to give you, all those really vertical turns and what kind of weights for you as the wave comes through. And with those are kind of breaking further up, way up on the top of the reef. And then these ones that are swinging down here, these fast ones are pulling in down here, and they're kind of running off a little too fast. So it really, I think wave choice being really important today, and kind of waiting for those ones with a good pace that have that open face. Almost look like they're going to be not mushy, but mushy, so to speak, have an open face and wait for you. And that's what that first wave had for Erin Brooks, and she just annihilated that wave. Just the way that the pace and the quickness and her twitch muscles just seem to be a little bit more elevated than everybody else in the field at the moment.
Thanks, Strider. It's a lot to digest right there. But Erin, it definitely looks like she's got, I mean, even look at that one turn that she got as a backup, a 3-point ride. So 10.83 two-wave total. And you can see with 2 career championship victories, one as a wild card, that was in 2024 here in Fiji, and then also just coming off that win, a glorious win coming from behind in a high-scoring final over in Tahiti.
You joined the championship tour, and there is immediately events that are high on the priority list of wanting to win, and she's
won 2 of them.
Yep, she's won 2 of them. She really has. Tahiti and Fiji. She won Fiji as a wild card.
But it's been a tough year. She hasn't made, up until Tahiti, you can see her, the snapshot of Erin Brooks' year, has not cleared this round up until just that last event. So turning point in the season, I feel, for Erin.
Yeah, definite turning point. I think we spoke about it in the Dawn Patrol show, but just sort of, she came onto the scene really via social media. I feel like a lot of her clips were going viral before she'd even joined the championship tour and before she was even on the Challenger series. And yeah, it was interesting to see. Let's just break down this wave first of Erin. So this is this one big belt, and fetched 3 points for this. So couldn't quite get around this section, fetched the 3 points. Just a testament, sorry, this is the 783. So really beautiful surfing from Erin, just absolutely tagging that wave.
Yeah, that's a really, really strong start for Erin Brooks. And so that's really what you want to do. I mean, there was kind of that battle for priority at first. And then with that priority switch, pretty much a priority error from Caroline, taking off on a wave, not being able to get a score. And then that opened the door for Erin Brooks. Now, with that opportunity, Erin was able to execute. So when you are presented an opportunity and you execute, to me, this is how you win heats.
Oh, totally. Looks like we have another paddle here now too.
Priority with Caroline Marks. She's going to use that priority. Caroline activates here. Winds up off the bottom. Marksy snaps off the top there. Has to clear some room and sees a little disinterested as the wave closes out. So Caroline using priority, but you would have to say that would be a priority error. That's not going to be the 7-point ride she's looking for.
No, and you could see Erin right next to her sort of forcing that issue. And as soon as Caroline stood up, I feel like you could really see there was that foamy sort of frothy water on the face of the wave. And generally when your opponent's already put down a 783 and you look down the line and you see that wave with lots of foam, lots of froth, generally not going to be kind of the score to keep a pace with Erin. So look, Caroline, quick, smart, out of there, but good use of pressure from Erin, really making Caroline use her priority there.
Yeah, Erin Brooks, putting on a seersucker suit and as a salesperson, and just sold a lemon right there to Caroline Marks on that sell. So good sell for Erin. She pretended she wanted it, right? And sometimes there's that's the art of war stuff right there. Sometimes there's a psychology in professional surfing and in heat management, and that was well done by Erin Brooks.
Oh yeah, it was just so smart. She sold her a dud. And look, as soon as Caroline stood up, I think Caroline's so smart too. This is the interesting thing coming into this heat. I feel like when you look at the women's tour as a whole, and there's definitely women who really are great at putting together heats, Caroline Marks really does come to mind. I feel like she's always just doing a little bit, like enough just to get these heat wins in those really tight sort of heat deciding moments. Caroline Marks is the master at that. And so it's interesting to me that Erin just sold her that dud. So we'll see what happens. There's still plenty of time on the clock for Caroline to fight back here. But yeah, really impressed with the salesmanship of Erin Brooks.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from Vahine Fierro with Vaughn Blakey. Important heat for the Tahitian, and she's on to the quarterfinals. Vaughn?
That's right, Kaipo. Vahine, congratulations. There's no such thing as an easy heat on tour, we know that, but Sawyer has been in such red-hot form. A huge win for you to get over the top of her in some beautiful conditions. A little bit slow.
Yes, it's an amazing feeling to make it past this round. Coming up against Sawyer, I knew, like, you know, her left is incredible and she's been doing so well. So yeah, I knew it was a big heat, but I also knew I could use my strength, and hopefully, yeah, this heat paid off, and I'm stoked. I got to do turns and I got a little barrel too. So yeah, the ocean was really slow, but yeah, it's luckily they called it off yesterday. Today is like all glassy and it's smaller, but at least it's glassy. Yeah.
When it is a little bit slow, like what sort of wave were you and Carly talking about? What was the one that you wanted to identify out there? Because Strider did say there's kind of two swells in the water. There's wide ones and there's ones that are sort of hugging the reef as well.
Yeah, it was quite tricky because also the swells, but also the tide was going low. So this morning it was hitting pretty far down below, and then through our heat I could feel it was going up the point. So it's kind of adapting, like Kaoli and I were saying, like adapt to what the conditions are gonna, you know, come, because there might be no waves, there might be a flurry of sets. So I think I adapted really well to what the conditions offered. We definitely missed a set at the beginning, but we were pushing each other so deep. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do to make those heats, and yeah, this one was fun.
That's great. And just finally, into the quarterfinals, that's a great result already, but you know, using that momentum to keep the fire burning and to keep going is something that you're really going to enjoy tapping into, I think.
To be honest, I didn't even think about that. I was more stressed out for I'm staying on Tavarua and Sawyer is on Namotu. So the staff on Tavarua was telling me, Vahine, you gotta beat her, you gotta beat Namotu. I was like, okay, if not, we're not gonna feed you when you come back. I was like, oh my God. So it kind of made me forget about making it to the quarters and all the rankings and stuff. That was a fun little challenge. So thanks to Tavarua staff, they're the best, and their support is it's so, they have so much good energy, and I kind of took that into the heat.
That's going to be so fun when you walk back onto the island and you walk into the restaurant. Everyone's going to go crazy.
Yeah, luckily I won this heat, because if not, I probably would have went to Namotu.
You never would. Congratulations, and yeah, can't wait to see you in the quarterfinals. A great result.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, Vahine Fierro, she's going to have a great breakfast over on Tavarua because she earned it with her victory there. And I love the inter-island battles between Namotu and Tavarua.
Yeah, it's so fun. I think that's a story as old as there we go, Tabby Cam.
Yeah, there they are. The men have the day off and they're enjoying their breakfast there on Tavarua. You guys got the day off. Cruise it, man. Have a good time. And also, thank you for joining us. We got this round. We may get into the women's quarterfinals, depending upon, you know, if the swell stays in and the wind cooperates with us. Right now, we got Erin Brooks over Caroline Marks, and Erin Brooks with heat control, also with that priority and lead. So Erin in a commanding position, but Caroline Marks, you know, you don't become a world champ when you can't come back in clutch situations. The 2023 world champ, Caroline, I'm sure has a couple of tricks up her sleeve to get back into this heat.
Well, already I just look at the positioning, right? So if we just had a pull back shot and you could really see the distance between Caroline and Erin. I mean, perfect example right here. So there's quite a bit of distance here. Now, if one of those wide sets was to swing down the line, Caroline is going to be in position. Even though she doesn't have priority, potentially Erin isn't going to be in that position, and Caroline is going to be able to utilize that. And I think that just speaks to, we heard Vahine talk about it, Strider talk about it, those two just sort of different swells. Potentially one we might see swing wide, and Caroline is going to be able to make, you know, full use of that. Yeah. And I think it's just smart. Just speaks to exactly your point, Kaipo, of she's not a world champ for no reason, or an Olympic gold medalist for no reason.
Yeah, she is displaying spatial awareness right now and being aware of the spacing between herself and the surfer with priority. That's just smart heat surfing. and giving herself way more of a chance right there, being in the under priority position. So, yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Now it's just anticipation of another set coming through, and we've seen some of these lulls increase in duration throughout the morning. So this is going to be when a set does come through, it's going to be a key exchange between these two.
Totally. I even think back to the last heat with Vahine and Sawyer compared to that first heat with Betty Lou and Luana, and I feel like we really are seeing, yeah, to your point, Kaipo, just that trend down in size and really long lulls. I haven't really seen a proper set like what we saw maybe in Luana and Betty Lou's heat. I feel like there was a lot more size there. So we'll see how the rest of today fares and if we're going to go into those quarterfinals or not.
Yeah, and how the surfers in the upcoming heats approach their heats, because I'm sure there's a key eye with all the women checking out, you know, and probably timing sets, being aware of these lulls, being aware of how many waves there are in a set, being aware of which is the better wave in the set. Is it still the second wave? Are there 3-wave sets? Is it just a 1-wave set? Yolanda Hopkins, she's being aware of all of this because she's coming up next with a big challenge up against #1 in the rankings, Gabriella Bryan, putting on her yellow jersey. That's coming up next.
That is going to be a great matchup. Gabby, she's put a lot of time in out here over the years. And Yolanda, on the other hand, coming off the back of her best result at Chope, she got a 3rd there. And I mentioned it before, but Yolanda's actually not backing herself up on the Challenger Series. She fully believes she deserves to be on the Championship Tour. So she's got a really big task ahead of her, being matched up against Gabriella Bryan, though. I think, yeah, Gabby's been looking good out here over the years, put a lot of time in. I know she's wanted to put time into her backside tube riding because she's been very vocal about, hey, I realise that this has been, you know, maybe a weaker part of my surfing, and it's been really cool to really see that evolution grow throughout the last couple of years.
Caroline Marks gets this one down the reef, but does not set itself up for the 2023 World Champ, so she just kicks out there. Erin Brooks up on top of the reef, drops into this one. Good sized wave for Brooks. Stalling for the barrel, gets on the gas, gets in the tube, big section in front of her, and that's going to take her out. And so now priority will be with Caroline Marks. Caroline on the paddle back out. Erin will not improve upon her scoreline with that effort. Red Bull Jet Ski with a keen eye on Erin Brooks. And you'll notice, compared to Tahiti, our ski drivers here, with just the sled and the surfers getting up on the ski on their own right. When we look back in Tahiti, we had actually two people on the ski teams, right? We had the grabber and we had the pilot. This one just pilots.
Well,
we got a great group of guys out there.
Great group of guys, all very, very talented and watermen in their own right. But you think about Chopes, right? I think that Cloudbreak is so intense, but I think Chopes, there's less time. You've got to think about decisions, and so it's so important that you have that grabber on the back of the skate.
Yeah, our great water patrol guys. We got Azza, Chani, Ringa, and Whippet, as well as Chase out there. Some of the best guys on the PWCs. Looks like we got Ringa right there on piloting. And speaking of piloting and speaking of the water, let's go out to the water with Strider Wazalewski.
Thank you, Kaipo. Yeah, hats off to the Water Patrol. They've been amazing out here. Ringa on dry reef yesterday, doing pickups and waiting for water to pick him back up so that he could buzz out of there. But back to the heat and back to Caroline Marks right there. That was really smart of her. You know, you guys talked about it a little bit, but the spatial relationship between the two, and she pulled Erin down the reef. And right now, as the tide gets lower, this inside section just runs off and almost closes out really quickly. So it pulled Erin down here, so she caught that wave, and there was nothing in it for her left on it. So then Caroline got back out there to get priority. So literally, it's just pure tactical move to pull her down the reef, to get her onto a wave, and then to find herself back out there with priority now. So it was really, really smart of Caroline Marks, and it could be a good turning point for her in the heat.
13 minutes for Caroline Marks to turn the heat, looking for a 7-point ride. Marks with priority, and now she can place herself flick wherever she wants on the reef. We see our tides right now still dropping, so it's 9 o'clock local time. So we got three more hours and some change of the tide draining here at 1.1 low at 12:25 local time.
Yeah, and you see such a big difference in the tides here. Obviously, the reef is completely exposed as we head to that lower tide. So a few more hours on it, and I'm interested to see how that plays out as well with this diminishing sort of swell as well. But I agree with Strider. I think that this could be a real turning point in the heat for Caroline Marks, so I'm looking forward to seeing how she fights back here.
Well, with 12 minutes and 55 seconds, we anticipate a couple more opportunities for each of our surfers for it. Right now, Caroline Marks with priority. We'll see if she can execute on that priority when we come back. Currently, Erin Brooks in the lead. Caroline Marks leading a 7-point ride. We'll be back with the conclusion of this heat after these messages.
This new generation never goes outside. This new generation is lazy. This new generation needs to wake up. Wake up.
Nowadays on Red Bull TV, check it out, featuring both Caroline Marks and Erin Brooks in that feature. And you can figure out the soundtrack on your own. Name the band. I'm not going to name it, but you're going to figure it out. Kaipo Girl, along with Felicity Palmentier. And when we left, we were waiting for a set, and we came back, and we're still waiting for a set. Caroline Marks with priority, though, so the 2023 World Champ with an opportunity to take the lead off of Erin Brooks. She needs a 7-point ride.
As much as we don't like to see long lulls and no waves coming through, what happens though is it does make the end of the heat very, very interesting and sort of nail-biting, right? Nervous times for both these women here because we know the calibre of surfing that both these women strive to do and that they bring to the table. So I think with 9 minutes on the clock, it still is very open. It's anyone's game. We know Caroline is so capable of posting a 7. She's got herself into the position where she needs to be, which is with the P next to her name and priority. And it looks like we'll see, Erin having a look here. But she's got herself into the position she needs to be in. So I think Erin knows that. I feel like you can see Erin, she definitely wants to improve on that 3. She doesn't want to carry that as her backup. I feel like there was, did it just be such nervous times for both of them?
Yeah.
So open, right?
Yeah, well, Erin's been pretty proven so far here in Fiji with what she's been able to produce numbers-wise. She's been very, very impressive. We talked about that 10-point ride for Erin Brooks, and that was, well rewarded. It was a perfect 10, but she's been putting together high scores throughout this entirety of this event so far, and she's been really the standout in the free surfs. Erin Brooks.
Completely. Well, you just rewind back to the 24 performance. I think she lost one heat in that original, her first showing out here at Cloudbreak. And then she just went on the absolute tear, taking down big name after big name all the way through to the final and then got the win.
That's what I was looking for right there. The top 5 waves of the event, and look at the illustration. That perfect 10, we talked about that over and over again, but Erin, like in the entirety of the event, has 3 of the top 5 waves so far ridden.
I keep saying it, I'm just not surprised, right? I talked about the run that she went on when she got the win here as a wild card. We think about the free surfing clips that we've seen from here. Even there was a trip that before she even was announced as the wild card for Fiji, she came out here on a reconnaissance mission and she surfed it really big. It was like 8 to 10 foot, pretty solid. And some of the tubes that she was packing before she was even announced as this wild card was insane. So if you think about the last few years and the time spent on this reef and all the different conditions, it's not a surprise to me that she's posting scores like that. I've said it already, she really is the benchmark out here. The stats speak for themselves. So look, it's not to say though that Caroline can't get this 7. She's already put herself into a perfect position. She's got the priority next to her name. Just needs some opportunity to come through.
Yeah, Caroline Marks, 2023 world champ. Runner-up in 24, runner-up just last year here at Cloudbreak in 25 for another. So she's also proven out here 2024. She made the quarterfinals. Again, she finished runner-up last year here at Cloudbreak. So we know she's capable of it. This is the tricky part, though. She just needs that opportunity. We're still, I mean, this has been a lengthy lull.
Oh, yeah, there's been a couple in this heat, and I just think back to our conversation earlier with Lakey and Molly just alluding to the fact, hey, I want to see surfing, I want waves and I want action. So yeah. I don't want it to come down to gamesmanship.
The priority story there in this heat is pretty evenly matched. You can see Caroline Marks at 51% of the time and 49% with Erin Brooks. So it's kind of been back and forth priority-wise. And it's a really interesting story right there when it's evenly split between 2 surfers.
Look, I think it just shows the first half of the heat, you know, Caroline sort of, but both of them though, such gamesmanship and the way that they put together and structure heats. I think in this back half we're going to see Caroline be really, really conscious of holding on to that. And I feel like she usually makes these right decisions at the right time in the heat. And she's really going to have to be careful with her wave selection when this next set comes. In what wave she wants. I feel like their second wave of the set has been better. First wave, what I've seen so far, sort of had that weird sort of ripple through it. And then the second one has been nice and clean. So we'll see what wave she chooses when this set comes through, hopefully.
Well, as the clock winds down, the opportunity is diminishing for Caroline Marks. So she's just going to, you know, at the 5-minute mark right now, this turns into a clutch heat if she's able to take a win here. And likely she's just going to have one opportunity. Luke Egan, the coach for Caroline, out in the channel taking a look at the watch and realizes that this is now a time management situation as well as maybe just a single chance for Caroline to take the lead.
Or even if this one set does come through, right? Let's say Caroline chooses one of the waves. Whatever wave she doesn't go, Erin's going to go. She's also probably going to, let's say, most likely improve on that 3, which ups the requirement even more for Caroline Marks. So I think, you know, Luke's going to understand the severity of this situation and just how, you know, much pressure is building essentially, because Erin's going to improve. That means that Caroline's probably chasing excellence, and Caroline knows that. She's so smart. She's, you know, so well versed in these situations. So when she stands up, she's probably knowing this may be the last roll of the dice and I have to go for excellence here.
Yeah, she's just definitely going to have to do some high-risk surfing, and the opportunity though, it looks, it's just as we fly by here, it looks really, really tough because I don't really see a lot of energy right now. Like, I don't see much at all. Either the Fiji flight cam giving us an illustration of just the beauty here, but also surfing wise, we don't like flat water.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, but we want to see some white water. You know?
I know, I don't want to watch Lake Cloudbreak. I want to watch the thundercloud.
And I just see blue water with no white, and you know, you want to see those nice white triangles coming off of the reef pass.
Good conditions for snorkeling, though.
It's beautiful conditions to check out some giant clams on Tavarua, but for surfing your heat, now we're down to 3 minutes for Caroline Marks. So this has got to be like this is like in an antsy situation for the former world champ.
Well, I started talking about it before. We're just, Molly's comment about, hey, I just hope there's enough opportunity. We're speaking to Molly and Lakey before, and Molly was like, I just don't want it to come down to gamesmanship, and I want it to be like, let the surfing do the talking. And I think that's the general consensus from all the athletes on tour. They just want lots of opportunity and lots of waves. So you can see there, Caroline Marks chasing down the 7-point ride. But you've got to be thinking, if there's a set right now, Erin's going to be on whatever wave Caroline doesn't want. So she's potentially going to improve on her 3, upping that requirement for Caroline. So it's really nervous times.
It's tough when you don't have an opportunity, and it is nervous times. There's Erin's dad, Jeff, and just full concentration on the lineup, knowing that his daughter's in the lead right now and anticipating some type of wave. I'm anticipating a wave right now. It looks like we may be seeing some lines flick.
Potentially. So hard to see if it's really going to eventuate into much. This first one a bit too small. Maybe this second lump also looks pretty small though.
Gosh, we're at the 2-minute mark, and Caroline actually slowly inching a little further up the reef. Again, needs a 7-point ride, but no opportunity as of yet. And all she can do is just sit and wait. All right, well, also getting some news that we were going to be going on hold for 30 minutes after the end of this heat. So the event will be on hold after the end of the heat. I think Tourism Competition is seeing what's playing out, and that we've been talking to, Flick, is that there's been giant lulls.
They're seeing what we're seeing, Kuiper. They're seeing
they're
picking up what we're putting down. There is some big lulls happening, and what we want to do is we want to see surfing. We don't want to be seeing sitting. So, and we want to see a lot of opportunity for all the women. And really, in this heat, we've seen 2 massive lulls. I think.
Wow. Yeah.
Caroline's probably had priority, for 10, 12 minutes now, and not one set coming through. So. That really sucks.
This is sometimes, as much of a science and as much of a sport that we want to make professional surfing, sometimes luck comes into play. And the position that I'm at right now, I'm saying that, like, Caroline Marks has just been unlucky. There's nothing she could do at the end of this heat. There were no rideable waves for her to respond to Erin Brooks. So that's a tough one. This is going to be a tough one for Caroline. I mean, when you have no chance, down to 25 seconds, Flick.
It stings, but it's also like, okay, what are you supposed to do? I mean, look, at the end of the day, there is someone that's going to, okay, maybe a set here, maybe one last roll of the dice. Kind of looks like Caroline's pretty interested in it.
10 seconds, and Caroline Marks paddling for this. Remember, hands have to leave the rails, and it is going to count right here. So right before the horn, needs a 7-point ride. Caroline Marks way up on the reef, comes through here, big slashing maneuver. She's just going to get that one turn and gets bounced off, and that's not going to be enough for Caroline.
That's tough. But even back to what I was saying before, look, at the end of the day, there's still, okay, there was a few opportunities at the start. There's still same conditions on hand for everyone, same opportunities throughout the heat, and there always is going to be a winner. And Erin Brooks just being pretty smart with priority at the beginning there and getting the win.
So Erin Brooks continues to roll through. The momentum that she built in Tahiti is continuing on here in Fiji. Erin on to the quarterfinals, where she will be meeting Vahine Fierro in that matchup in quarterfinal number 2. When we get to finals day, Caroline Marks, unfortunate, did not really get a chance to respond at the end of that heat. So we'll see Caroline back at lowers for the next event. But we'll see Erin Brooks in the quarterfinals. Again, we are on a 30-minute hold to resume competition, where we'll assess the conditions. So we're on that 30-minute hold. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have an update show. We're going to tell you what's gone on so far today. And again, we're going to be on hold to see how the conditions eventuate. Erin Brooks, though, absolutely ripping.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Corona Cero Update Show. Ran 3 heats today. We set up the top half of the draw for the women's quarterfinals. Chris Moore taking on Betty Lou Sakura-Johnson. Vahine Ferreira will have Aaron Brooks, and we have gone on hold. Next call will be in about a half an hour from now to see if we'll get the contest back underway. We had the quarterfinals on standby. That's off the table now for this beautiful Friday. We'll see if we can finish the round. These conditions did slow up a bit, so good to just take a breath and reset here on the Momi Marriott host set. Still dreamy on this lagoon. Well, it is all day long, and we'll wait to see if we can get more action. Gabby Bryan, Yolanda Hopkins on deck before we went on hold, and we haven't really seen world number 1 just sink her teeth into Cloudbreak yet. Gabby Bryan's just been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's got to be interesting, you know, for these 10s that have been going down, all these highlights, and you're like, I haven't even surfed my first heat yet, Flick. That's got to be an interesting scenario.
I think so, and I think being world number 1, carrying that yellow jersey, knowing that you just want to be a part of it, because when you're hearing all these scores go down from, you know, Erin with the 10, Erin literally in every heat, Carissa as well making a charge through the ranks, I feel like you just like, give me a piece of this. Also the swell we had on hand at the beginning of the waiting period the first day, even yesterday looking really good, and you're just like, come on, like let me get a piece of this.
Yeah, same for Molly Picklum. They joined you guys on the show from the Tabby Bar. And you think for Molly, you're going, wait, she has so many memories here. She's basically the one to watch when this place gets big. And as the swell's been dropping a little bit, you can tell she's getting antsy. She's ready to compete.
We've even seen with Yago how excited he was to be back competing and being a part of the show 1 year later after winning his world title. Molly has those exact same feelings. She wants to be back out there, reliving this moment, showing us how well she actually does know this piece of reef, and hopefully going for another title here.
So sometimes it's maybe a gift to be in round 1 because you're scoring, maybe 10s as well. If your name is Aaron Brooks has just been so hot. Maybe not a breakthrough win in Tahiti. Maybe it's just the start of a serious run. The 19-year-old has arrived, and she had a giant matchup. Last year's world runner-up, an Olympic gold medalist, and a past world champion in Caroline Marks.
Yeah, this was a massive matchup on paper, you're thinking, and 2 goofy footers as well, who have sort of similar approaches to the wave. And I was really rubbing my hands together for this heat. It was just wave-starved. The only moment of consequence of this heat was really this priority move from Erin, really utilising it on this wave and dropping a 7.83 and really, you know, applying the pressure to Caroline. Caroline fought back. She had a couple of moments. She was looking really good. But her wave selection probably just not as good as Aaron Brooks. And you could say here at the end of the heat, right, like there was not very much opportunity. Caroline manages to get priority back off Erin, but at the same time in saying all this, there still has to be a winner at the end of the day, and Erin just formulated the front half of this heat really well. Hindsight's the perfect science, and knowing that all the opportunity would have been at the beginning of this heat, but yeah, you got to say well done to Aaron Brooks once again, posting one of the higher numbers on the women's side of the tour.
Finding a 7.83, having trouble with round 1 and 2 all season. That whole narrative is just in the rear view big time as she's just climbing up the rankings in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and these are 2 events that really do suit her style, her confidence in these heavy water waves. And I just love that Erin is completely in flow state. Those bottom turns into her top turn combinations were wild, even watching on that 7.83. So yeah, Erin going from strength to strength, and I actually am so excited to see her compete again.
Oh, absolutely ripping so fast. Some of those snaps reminded me of her part in Sketchy, that great movie that was released earlier this year. Aaron Brooks is standing by with Vaughn Blakey.
Thanks, Joey. Aaron, Joey just mentioned round 1 and 2. It's been a bit of kryptonite, but you're into consecutive quarterfinals now, and you're saying that there was a whole different level of anxiety going on in the tail half of that heat.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the beginning, we both got like waves in the first 5 minutes, and then it kind of just stopped for the rest of the heat. I mean, we got like little ones, and we kind of both were a little too deep, but then at the end, there was absolutely nothing. So not having priority and just sitting there, knowing Caroline needed like a 7, but she could easily get it. She's been ripping the whole time. We've actually been rooming together, so it was a bit of a bummer of a heat, but I'm just happy with how it went, but I was super stressed.
I was going to ask you about that. It's so unusual for top-line athletes to share any space, let alone a bedroom, in the lead up to a battle. How's the week been?
It's been so much fun. I've said it before, it's like a summer camp there, but getting to stay with Caroline is so much fun. She's like someone I've looked up to for so long. We got to do a lot of trips together for our Nowadays movie, so we've kind of gotten a lot closer, and her mom's here too, so it's just been so much fun getting to hang out with them.
That's cool. Yeah, quarterfinals, obviously momentum. It just feels so good to have, even in a slow heat like that, getting off to a really fast start and using, basically the limited opportunity to still get a bit of good surfing though.
Yeah, I'm always stoked to keep making heats. I mean, it felt like it was almost impossible for me to do in the beginning of the year, so I just had to keep faith in God's plan, and I'm so thankful for Him giving me the ways to keep going.
And just finally, reflecting on the other day, you've had a little bit of time to sit with it. I saw some social media engagement. You had over 5 million hits just through your own socials. I mean, it just really shook the whole world, that performance. Looking back on it, how are you feeling about that particular ride and that day?
Honestly, top 5 best days of my life. I was so excited just to get that way, but to come in and see messages from like all of the greatest surfers, like insane, like Kelly, Steph, Coco, Carissa, like those are all my heroes. So to like see them stoked about my wave is insane, and 5 million people is a lot, so I was honestly blown away.
It's a real lot. Congratulations again on that, and congratulations on moving through. I know quarterfinals and better is exactly where you want to be, so you are right on track.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm stoked. Woo.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Fawn. Thank you, Aaron, for providing a piece of history. We mentioned this 10 that we'll be referencing, I think, for the rest of her career. The time that she arrived and changed the game here at Cloudbreak, that 10 is a part of the history of the wave itself. As we look at women's round 2, heats to look forward to as well, seeing world number 1, Gabriella Bryan, took out the event win at Bells, and she's just been steady and consistent this year on tour. She takes on Yolanda Hopkins if we get back on this morning. And then Nadia Aristarbe, she got some really good tube rides over in some challenging conditions at Chopes. Expecting her to turn into highlight reel this morning as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool matchup because she's matched up against a really good friend, Isabella Nichols, and I know that they're both staying here at Momi Bay, so they're living in close quarters, sort of similar situation to Erin and Caroline, matched up against another good mate. And Heat 7, Molly Picklum, Brisa Hennessy, 2 good mates going at it again.
Yeah, and Molly, who has, like I mentioned, so much experience on this reef. She's just won a world title here a year ago against Brisa, who knows this area better than any of the women on tour. So that's a good matchup.
That's got to be the biggest seed of the draw when you think about what Molly accomplished last year here in Fiji as a reigning world champion, and Brisa being an adopted local, spending maybe more time than anyone else on this local lineup. So the stage is set for some big heats if we do resume competition. Remember, call time is at 10 o'clock. It's 9:30 local time to see if we'll continue on with round 2. For now, we'll leave you with Inside Pro Surfing's vision of Molly Picklum clinching the world title here at Cloudbreak along with Yago Dora. We'll see you in about a half an hour for the next call. Take care.
The 2025 WSL Championship Tour season will be remembered for quality waves and groundbreaking performances.
Setting that rail, and she guns her way out of a beauty.
Oh my goodness. Pulls an air in the tube and comes out.
And then you go to Cloudbreak to have everything on the line in one day at a world-class venue in Paradise.
Cloudbreak for finals is insane. You have to be committed. There's no hesitation. It demands pure surfing.
Beating multiple sections. Yago on the wind-up, smooth, attacking the carve.
With WSL finals, there's no hiding from your biggest rival. If you want that crown, you've got to take down the best.
That was insane! You're 1 heat away from a world title. The #1 seeds are nervous as hell.
Fear of failure and the desire to win.
Losing the final event after leading the season, it was heartbreaking.
There's a lot of pressure. If you say you don't fear the failure, you're lying.
I want to win, and I really mean that, and it's scary that that may not happen.
The best field we've ever had, locked on this island. There's nowhere to hide. It's going to be on.
These athletes have been working so hard. Then the carrot at the end is just this beautiful trip to Fiji.
We're back.
You know, what's great about our number one seeds coming into the Lexus WSL finals is the highlight reels that they've put together. Iago Dora and Molly Picklum, you really could put together a movie part with what they've done out there in the water this year.
Well, world champions have world champion moments.
Winning the regular season, coming into the finals, and having the chance of losing everything that I built this whole season. I feared that happening, but instead of thinking that I have something to lose, I'm thinking that I have something to gain here, you know. It's the world title on the line. It's everything I dreamed of.
This Final Five is an extremely exciting group of women.
Betty Lou goes big at Burleigh, takes her very first championship tour win.
Betty Lou in 5th place, Caroline 4th. In 3rd position, you got Katie Simmers, then Gabby Bryan and Molly Picklum in the number 1 spot. Molly has earned that place with groundbreaking performances, also amazing resilience this year. She knifes it harder than anyone, and this is a wave that actually demands complete commitment, and Molly has it in spades.
On the men's side, it's a classy group of surfers. So coming in at the number 5 seed, we have a world champ, Italo Ferreira. Number 4 seed, Jack Robinson. At number 3, Griffin Colapinto. The number 2 seed's Jordy Smith. And world number 1 is Iago Dora.
Iago Dora is everyone's new favourite surfer. He was carving out a career as a free surfer for himself while all his contemporaries on tour were just starting their journeys. And it took him a while to sort of flick into competitive mode. It kind of afforded him some time to work on a very unique approach.
The guy can land big airs, he's good in the barrel, smooth like Jerry Lopez. The biggest mountain is he's never been here before.
This is the day that we've been waiting for.
Wow, look at this morning. What?
Good morning. How pretty is that?
Oh
my God, it's beautiful.
Waiting for a potential world title showdown today.
This whole year has amounted to this moment.
We're on, boys. It's starting at 8:30.
Oh, yes! Bring it on! How good? Game on.
I'm pretty excited. It's all about to happen right now.
We'll have Jack Robinson in that first title match with Italo Ferreira.
Italo versus Jack is the ultimate kickoff to this WSL finals day.
Start of the season, Final Fives at Cloudbreak. All you thought about was Jack Robinson. I'm also excited to see if Italo can rampage again.
Jack Robinson is supernatural when it comes to tube riding. He just sees it all in slow motion, and I think it's because he has this incredible ability to be so in the moment. Woo! The Vortex Shaman.
Italo comes in as 5th seed, and he has already shown us he can surf his way from 5th seed into a title showdown.
He's been doing it at lowers, finishing runner-up twice in this format. He's going to give us everything he's got.
They're not scared to engage in the heat of battle. They have gone elbow to elbow in the past. It's going to depend on the size of the surf. If we don't get maxing Cloudbreak, then I think the advantage does swing a little bit towards Italo. It is a match-up for the ages, and what a way to fire things up.
Men's match number 1 with 2 of the elite surfers in the world.
Jack Robinson versus Italo Ferreira. The high energy approach of Italo Ferreira with the more laid-back, zen-like approach of Jack Robinson.
Italo Ferreira, this is under the priority of Jack Robinson. Looks for the ramp, and that's what he's been doing. Puts it down and just reverts out of that.
And he's up again.
Big giant alley-oop, lands it on the roof, combos it up with a lip line floater there. Fights for an exit.
Silky smooth on the landing from Italo Ferreira. He's just so clutch in these moments. Live action of Jack.
Delayed takeoff for Robinson up the reef. Hung up on that first turn, and wheels are falling off right now for Jack Robinson.
I'm actually a little flabbergasted here. This is so uncharacteristic for Jack. He is rattled at the moment.
He sure is. And gets caught up and goes down. Something has ruffled the energy of Jack Robinson in this heat. Back to live action here. Cloudbreak, Italo Ferreira pulling into the barrel. Finds his way out in the lead over Jack Robinson in men's match number 1. And Italo continues his assault. He's been surfing under the priority the whole time. He has the lead, and he's put Jack Robinson in a corner. Looking dangerous, the 2019 world champ, Italo Ferreira. It's going to be Italo Ferreira advancing on into match number 2, where Ferreira will be meeting Griffin Colapinto.
But this is going to be a tough battle up against Griffin Colapinto. These guys have got some history.
Griffin Colapinto is building towards a maiden world title.
Italo needs something spectacular here, and that's a start.
He came into the final 5, I think, as the real danger man. Griffin Colapinto is building towards a maiden world title. We know that. But when he started 2025, we were just thinking, oh my God, it's not a world title year, and he'll be lucky if he survives the cut.
Griffin Colapinto right now is having one of the worst starts of his career.
Not enough.
Close heat though, and Griffin surfed great.
Going into the event down at Bells Beach, he found himself in 26th position.
The last few events have just like broken me open emotionally.
It was something we'd never been through with Griff, so it was like kind of really fun to see how patient we could stay. And you know, it's fun to be the hunter.
Drives up into a chunky section, and it's a huge statement laid down.
He just started pulling off those Griff-type miracles.
Full rotation and a perfect landing for Griff.
Colapinto ducks under in the tube and comes out.
Wow.
What?
Everything to lead to that point right there, that moment, it's all worth it. So I'm super grateful.
And after that, it was just a highlight reel every time he hit the water.
Full command, blasting the tail free.
8.93! Griffin Colapinto takes the win.
And he's going for big airs again.
Griffin Colapinto bringing the heat.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, it's how you react to the adversity that makes the difference. You know, just being super grateful for the way life works, and it's happening.
Your runner-up, Griffin Colapinto.
Yeah, I just put in so much preparation and hard work with everything on the line. You know, there's a big hump to get over, and all that preparation just showed on this day, so super grateful.
Congrats, Griffin. Enjoy the moment. And we'll see him at Cloudbreak to try to compete for a world title.
He came into the final 5, I think, as the real danger man.
Here we are at the Lexus WSL Finals. Number 3 seed, Griffin Colapinto, coming up against the number 5 seed, Italo Ferreira.
Go, boss, you're on. Full speed. We saw Italo Ferreira getting through the first of the men's exchanges, but this is going to be a tough battle up against Griffin Colapinto. These guys have got some history.
Opening wave of match number 2. Colapinto smooth off the bottom, hacks it off the top. Nice opening turn, sets up for a blazing second turn. Power as well as flexibility on display for Griffin Colapinto.
Beautiful performance on this first wave.
Griffin Colapinto goes excellent, 8-point ride and the lead. Opportunity shifting to Italo Ferreira with priority.
Italo has had so much momentum up to this point.
Italo needs something spectacular here, and that's a start. Smaller wave, and we've seen this routine before.
Perhaps a little forced.
Yeah. Here goes Ferreira. Under priority, needs something big. In between two mines, looking for that ramp, chucks it out into the flat. There's a beautiful air, but there's a lot of downtime at the beginning of that wave.
There was a lot of downtime. Griffin's been able to defuse the energy of Italo Ferreira.
Colapinto wants to be on the offense here. Throws the fins a couple times on some backhand hangers. Make it 3. That was a third critical maneuver, and Colapinto feeling it.
Feels like he's just in perfect sync.
Colapinto goes excellent to take out Italo Ferreira, and what a way to end the heat. Griffin Colapinto on to face Jordy Smith.
How are you going to overcome Jordy Smith?
Yeah, Jordy's throwing a lot of water. He's a big guy. He's probably almost twice my size. But yeah, I'm excited. We're both have a great opportunity here, and yeah, it should be a really fun heat.
We can't wait for it, mate. All the best. Well done, mate. One of the greatest stories has been the return to form and just the joy in Jordy Smith this year. He has been on fire.
Jordy Smith, he's looking for his first victory in nearly 8 years, Joe.
Yes, he's doing the work. Yes, he's surfing incredibly well, but he's doing it all just his way.
Jordy Smith, your champion of the Surf City El Salvador Pro. And after all these years, how sweet does this feel?
This is for two people. This is for my wife, and then secondly, my father. I've always wanted to ride his board in a final and to win on it, and that dream's come true. I love you, Dad. South Africa, let's go!
Almost get you teary thinking about the dedication that he's put into the sport, how much he loves the game, and you're like, here he is. Not just showing up, but a true threat for the world title.
The best in the West, Jordy Smith.
Oh, come on! So stoked!
This has been a reinvigorating season.
For me, this year has just really been about have fun and enjoy this because it's not forever.
I would love nothing more than to see Jordy Smith win a world title. 18 years on the tour he's been at it, and so many people have said he's the guy that should have won a world title.
Jordy Smith is everyone's sentimental favourite. People just love what he brings to the table. Is this his best shot and maybe his last shot at a world title? Well, it's definitely his best.
Hammers the inside, Jordy Smith. Wow.
He's never been happier. He's here with his family. The year is just the best of his career.
Just watching him put the jersey on as world number 2, you know, in his 18th season to go, will this be it?
You're watching the Lexus WSL Finals. The channel is lighting up with a lot of excitement as we're getting closer to our title match heats. This is a big one. Jordy versus Griff. The winner of this takes on world number 1, Yago Dora, for a chance to be the world champ in 2025. We've got Griffin Colapinto swinging. Nice, clean style, easy pace. Snaps it over the coping there. Hitting it off the top with the fin throw. Nice connection as he blitzes the lip line again. Total control and a laugh from Colapinto.
Wow, this is an excellent ride, Joe. We're going to see big numbers drop here. His form is just absolutely perfect right now.
7.83. Griffin is just feeling the moment right now and coming out guns blazing. Rolling into this one, Jordy Smith crushes that section. Big power move from the South African. Winding up for a big wall, backhand float, lands in the flats.
That was insane!
And the Smith family, that's what they were waiting for. Jordy just put himself right into the mix.
That was some great surfing from Jordy Smith. That second one just detonating off the top and then just goes for that big lip line floater. Beautiful timing there.
That was huge. 8.67.
Geordie's camp really starting to fire up now. With one wave, everything's shifted. Now the pressure goes back onto Griff.
Rolling into this one is Griffin Colapinto. Crushes that section. So much control in the tail drift. Keeps the rails on the face for the second move, and another big hammer for Colapinto. He's certainly showing the world that he's one of the best.
He just turned up the dial and put a little bit more emphasis on every turn.
Colapinto earns a 7.6, and now Geordie Smith needs a 6.76.
It's go time now for Geordie. This next wave, it's going to have to count.
Nice clean carve off the top. Bashes it there, putting a lot into that small inside section.
The big finish, unfortunately, eluding him on this wave. The whole year coming down to this final score for Geordie.
A 4.83. It is not enough. Geordie Smith knocked out by Griffin Colapinto. Griff will have a shot at the title match to take on Yago Dora.
Wow, congratulations, Geordie Smith, on just an incredible year. The sentimental favourite, unfortunately, being knocked out by an informed Griffin Colapinto.
Caroline Marks has proven herself to be a major handful in the WSL Final Five.
She's been here, she's done it.
Kind of here to be someone's nightmare a little bit.
Let's just rinse and repeat. Let's do this again. She could actually take this thing out, which would be remarkable for her to get a second world title.
Caroline Marks has proven herself to be a major handful for the world's best in the WSL Final Five over the years.
It's Caroline Marks up 1-0 against Katie Simmers in the title matches.
She's been on form all day.
There's no story more famous than when she went on a run and snatched a world title away from Carissa Moore, getting her maiden world title.
Caroline Marks takes the first heat of the title match to put Carissa Moore under pressure. We'll see if Carissa Moore can find redemption in this matchup, Rosie.
Those 3 words, must-win situation.
Caroline chucks some spray. Last of Caroline, 7.6, the best of the matchup. 5-time world champ trying to save herself here. Connects, has to bottom turn aggressively to get a 2-turn combo, and it's not enough. It's official. Caroline Marks is your 2023 world champion.
Caroline's been here, she's done it. And it's almost like, let's just rinse and repeat. Let's do this again.
These, right here, the world title and Olympic gold medal have been my 2 biggest goals in my career and in surfing that I can ever dream of, and it's been a good couple years. Your first one, they say, is like the hardest one to get, but in saying that, I want more. So I'm like, I know the position I'm in, and I know it's super possible, so I'm gonna try everything I can to get it.
I feel like she has a bit of an advantage here because she can decompress, get rid of that pressure, and come from behind. And it's weird that she has somewhat gone under the radar.
I overheard you say at a table the other night you're ready to take up the role as the dream ruiner. Is that true?
That's true, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Coming in not as number 1, you're kind of here to be someone's nightmare a little bit.
Are you willing to do whatever it takes to win?
Yes, I am. I'm so freaking ready to win a contest.
This young surfer coming from the island of Oahu, her first ever championship tour victory. Let's hear it for Betty Lou Sakura Johnson.
Final move, bang!
You've just won lowers, 2 event wins in the same season here in 2025.
Betty Lou's had a dream season. She had highs, she had lows, but this year it clicked.
This confidence, this momentum, and she could be looking pretty deadly.
And when you see a surfer of her talent click into a mind space where, okay, I'm not just here trying my best against my heroes, I'm actually here to destroy their dreams. That's when you start seeing performances like the ones she put on throughout this year.
Here to just, be in the present and enjoy this beautiful place and, hopefully make it all the way to Mali, and we'll see what happens.
Jersey's getting put on for title match number 1. Caroline Marks versus Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. All roads leading to Molly Pickham, who's the boss of world number 1. Caroline Marks getting started. Nice swing into the pocket on the open face. Driving into a nice lift line hack there. Settles down for a view inside the pit. A successful opening ride. Betty Lou's on the next one. Looking for an answer and comes up with nothing. Advantage Caroline Marks with priority. Moving into gear just above the 6-minute mark is Betty Lou. From the North Shore of Oahu, crushing sections. Nice little inside line under priority and is chasing a 5.17. Caroline Marks, a 2023 world champ, eliminates Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. She will now take on Katie Simmers, a rematch of the world title showdown last year that went to a third decision.
Katie coming in here, she's world number 3. She's the defending world champ, but all eyes are not really on her at the moment.
I'm so grateful I'm not in first place. Like, oh my God.
And you know what? Maybe that could work in her favor.
Katie Simmers, she's taken the 2024 world title and now the youngest ever world champion.
My head was so whacked last year, like before the contest, and this year it's a completely different mindset of going into it, like just having nowhere to go but up.
Katie, maybe not her best year, but she's still there fighting for the world title. She's got the experience.
Have fun.
Katie Simmers looking to go back-to-back with her world titles. Katie Simmers striking the lip. Deep bottom turn, beautiful fan off the tail, moving quickly on the open face again. She will end with a fall. Simmers will be using that score in her top 2.
As we see to Caroline opening her account.
Winding up second turn, open face hook. Needs a 6.34 for the lead as she winds up on a classy open face cutback. Belts it under the lip line just in time to sneak in the finish before running out of water. Answering once again, 7.67 and the lead from Caitlin Simmers.
As we see Caroline now at the back.
Nice, beautiful pace bottom turn, slaps it off the lip, crushes it again as she is looking so solid.
See Katie watching on and just watching Caroline get that work done.
Now Katie Simmers' requirement increases to an excellent score, needs an 8.10.
And right now, door is open for Caitlin for sure. It's just with 50 seconds on the clock.
She will go over the falls and we will see Caroline Marks upset the reigning world champ. 2 big wins today will now face Gabrielle O'Brien.
Yeah, I just want to keep building, and this is where it really matters right here. So just put my head down and see what happens, taking it heat by heat.
It was definitely a dream. I don't think I believed the dream. Like, I always thought I could, but I never really, was convinced.
And Molly, good golly, knows how to pick 'em.
People win, so I'm starting to believe that it could be me.